I was gonna bet money that you would have brought a Powerade.
I actually was out of Powerade.
Oh,
It was
man.
Gatorade, but
Oh yeah, I said Gatorade or Powerade.
I said that I didn't know if you were going to actually do that. I was like, he's been drinking a lot of water.
I was out of Gatorade. I generally only drink Gatorade with like food now.
Oh right.
And water plain.
All right, you guys ready?
No.
All right, guys. Buds Aplenty.
It's Buds Aplenty!
Back with another episode of Buds Aplenty. I've been thinking about that one for about a day.
Yeah, boo.
We got the man who was roasted on our last episode, Mr. Shane Lockering.
Yep.
I don't even. Have you even watched it?
No. Caleb told me all about it.
Yeah. So we got Shane Lockering here, and the man who used to be with Wells on the show.
Oh, yeah.
But now is not with Wells. Now with Shane.
Wow.
Caleb Hammontree.
Hey, guys.
So,
I don't know what that is, but okay.
4 more years. So,
That'd be great.
so, first thing I wanted to discuss with them is Forecastle was last weekend or the weekend before?
It was the weekend before.
2 weeks ago. Forecastle being a regular music festival in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
You guys have been attending for how many straight years?
Oh God.
He's been attending more than I
like
have.
a lot, like 5, I think.
5 years?
I've been, what,
3?
2, 3?
2 or 3.
I think it's 3. I didn't go last year. So.
Gotcha. So
I would have been like 5 or 6. I can't remember. We were discussing it, and I couldn't remember.
Right.
I couldn't remember either.
Really, I wanted to bring it up because with you guys going, I wanted to see like what you thought of it as compared to the other years. Also, just it as a show or as a festival, what you thought of it.
Okay, well, let me just start by showing you a little something that I think is a good summary of the show.
It's a good summary of the entire music festival as a whole.
And are we being serious here, or are we just gonna...
Oh no, I'm being completely sarcastic.
Okay, never mind. I knew it was going to be something Weezer related, but you get me with pork and beans. Great way.
Weezer was fantastic. They were easily the best.
I wasn't expecting them to be that
Yeah,
good,
I thought they were going to be
honestly.
not as good because I had heard that they're not like good live, but they were really, really good. And,
what type of stuff did they play? Like
they played like all their hits. They played all their hits, and they
New
played
stuff.
some of their new stuff.
They
and
had a
covered,
nice like medley.
Yeah.
Not melody.
Oh yeah, they
nice
had like a
medley
4-song medley
of new stuff.
that's really
and
cool.
then they covered Hey Ya by Outkast.
Oh,
that was really good.
That's really cool, considering they also were the headliner last year, right?
a couple years ago.
A couple years ago, yes.
And the best part about Pork and Beans was it was an extended version where they like paused during each of the lines in the second verse just so they could play extra beats of the riff, and they would have like the fans say things back to them. It was super good.
And we got really
We got really close.
That video, and I saw your pictures on Facebook, and I'll probably swing those over on the Facebook page. Those were solid pictures.
Yeah.
And that was really close.
Yeah, it was. Well, and that was our plan. Like, originally, we weren't going to get, like, that close. We were like, well, because the entire festival, like, over the 3 days, we didn't really get, like, super close to anybody.
Right.
And then Weezer was the last day. It was the last act. And we were like, well, let's see if we can do it. And somehow we did.
Yeah, it was so good.
So that was Sunday, right?
That was Sunday.
Yeah.
That was the final headliner.
What about Saturday and Friday?
Saturday,
You didn't.
the only 2 acts I saw Saturday was Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And on SOB, he like commanded everyone to kneel down, and everyone thought he was like joking, but he wasn't. So he was like, "No, I'm serious. Everyone in the audience, kneel down." He's like, "Kneel down,
crowd.
everyone, kneel down. Just a second.
Crowd.
You can do it for me, just for a second." So the whole crowd knelt down before he screamed, and then he's like, "Okay, now everyone get up!" And then he screamed the rest of the chorus. That was great.
It was pretty.
And then I also saw part of Sturgill Simpson, and I didn't know that he was like, he can jam.
Oh, really?
Like, he jammed hard, and his, like, he's a great guitar player. I had no idea, because I hadn't listened to him much other than just a few things, but that was great. But I wasn't there the rest of the night or anything before that, because I was watching Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Right.
The rest of the night, it was, I think LCD Sound System was
right.
Well, they were the big headliner. Super good, gigantic crowd. Everybody's dancing around.
Do you think that would have been one of the biggest crowds? Well, obviously, it's a headliner for that night. Or do you think Weezer?
I don't know. Weezer had a really big crowd.
I wouldn't know. Weezer was huge. I wouldn't know. I have no idea about LCD Sound System.
I was discussing it with Gunnar and Bean, and we were trying to figure out if it was the biggest, which one had the bigger crowd.
Right.
And I couldn't tell you. There was so many people there. So.
Do you think it was the biggest year that you've seen?
It wasn't the biggest year.
No.
Okay.
Well,
there were way more people at the Black Keys.
Oh, well, see, I didn't go to that.
Yeah,
one, so.
And that was last year, right?
No, that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay. Was that like right about the time of El Camino, or
it was after?
After
they were
okay.
playing stuff off El Camino.
A little bit after.
I think it was right before the
Turn Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they may have played like one song off of Turn Blue before it like officially released.
Right.
But their sound was like really bad. Like they didn't have speakers in the back yet, like in the back of the audience, and it was so packed, and we were so far back because we just saw Flaming Lips, who were great, and we were so far back that like you could just hear people talking. It was like a quiet radio going on in the background,
which
awful. Sucked because they were good, but like you couldn't hear it.
Mm-hmm. And they put on a good show. I've seen them with Gunnar and Wagner. I saw them in 2011 on the El Camino tour. What about Friday?
Friday was really good too.
Friday was.
We didn't stay for the headliner though, did we?
Which was
that was Odessa.
Odessa, yeah. We didn't. Run the Jewel was the last.
That was the last.
Saw.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been really good.
Really good.
And they've been there previous years, haven't they?
I don't think.
No. They've done other festivals.
Oh God! And I remember who else was on Friday and was terrible. Waka.
Oh yeah!
Waka
Oh my God!
Horrible.
He was actually, interesting enough, he was at DreamHack Austin.
Really?
The gaming convention.
That's weird.
He performed.
He was not good live at all.
The hype man.
Oh yeah, there was like he was like 30 minutes late, so it was just a hype man like the whole time, and he was awful.
He was just playing songs that Walker was not on.
Yeah.
Right, and that's generally what they do actually at hip hop concerts.
And Bean was getting mad. Oh, and then Caleb, me, and Gunnar were gonna leave, and Bean's like, well, I'm going to try to get closer to see if it's better. So he got up close, and then about 30 minutes later he comes down. Well, it was not any better. He was like, the closer I get, the worse it kept sounding.
And Cage.
Cage.
They were on
Cage
Friday.
was there Friday.
That's
That's the third
time we've seen him.
Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant. And that was probably their second best show that I've seen out of the three, because the first time they were at Forecastle, they sounded off. Like the singer Matt Schultz, he sounded weird. I don't know what was up.
Then we went and saw him at Yum
Center. That was probably the best because it.
Oh
was
yeah, that's
just
right. It was Yum Center.
Show.
I thought for some reason I thought you went and saw him at Clip.
No, we didn't. I saw Foo Fighters in Clip.
That's where it was. Yes.
Which that's still the best show I've ever seen. That's
Right.
still my favorite show of all time.
I should have went to that one.
So
Yeah, you should.
overall, compared to other Forecastles, what do you think?
It was better than last year, and it was probably better than 2 years ago, which was like Modest Mouse, and I don't even remember all the headliners from 2 years ago.
I can't remember that.
My Morning Jacket.
Yeah.
Well, My Morning Jacket was so good on that Saturday 2 years ago but I still think it was probably better than 2 years ago as a whole. It was definitely better than last year. Last year was the worst. It wasn't my favorite. My favorite would have been when Joy Formidable, Flaming Lips, Black Keys,
So 3 or 4 years
Young
ago.
the Giant. It was all.
Wow, that would have been a really good show. with Young
That
the
was the
Giant.
best. That was easily the best. Although the best headliners were honestly probably, I don't remember which year it was. Probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was Outkast,
Oh, gosh, that was
Jack White
good.
Yeah.
and Beck were the headliners.
That
That was probably the best
And-
headliners year.
That Outcast show was just.
I remember you guys
So
showing me videos,
good.
and it was
It
really
like
cool.
there was a light drizzle of rain, so it was nice and cool. And they had lasers going on, and they were like shining through the raindrops, and they were like
And they
reflecting.
had the cube.
And they had the cube, and they brought people up on stage
Yeah,
to dance.
that was one of the best shows.
It was really good.
ever. And Jack White was great too.
And I was
And,
he got right up at the
yeah,
front.
he got right up in the front on Jack White. We were way in the back.
It was loud.
Oh, I bet.
It was really good though.
Yeah, so really just wanted to hit on that. That's kind of relevant news, especially down here in the Midwest. It's one of the bigger music
Definitely an
festivals.
above average year, in my opinion, this year.
Right.
And it helped that all the Kingdom Hearts news was going on at the same time to get me pumped.
So if you guys can see this big bad boy, we are doing
Big money, good topics.
some music discussion. We have
movies.
16 categories. Caleb, you want to run through the categories for me?
Yeah, so we've got rom-com, action, Disney Pixar animation. That's not Disney Pixar, that's Disney and or Pixar.
Correct.
Christmas, horror, non-Disney animation, mystery, comedy, documentary, fantasy, war, sports, thriller, sci-fi, drama, and superhero.
And Dunbar.
So the way it's going to work...
I don't know how you've misread that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The way we're going to do this is we're going to each we're going to do a spin. We're probably going to go about 10 rounds, so that'll leave about 6 of the topics. We made our own list. Shane made his. You'll see some of the bloopers. I did record it. Go ahead and show them the size of your list.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's only filled up, like, to here. But,
Caleb and I came a little bit more prepared. We're going to discuss. We're going to have our definitive ones of each topic, but we're also going to just discuss some of the greats. Each person is going to get a spin. If it gets, and then we'll cross that one out. If it lands on one of those X's, then the spinner gets their choice of a topic. So that way we can kind of vary it up. The spinner has a little bit of say in what we do. So, like I said, it's not necessarily the definitive ones. It's our favorites. You may lean towards the definitive. I think some of these, as you think about some of the categories, you may waver or you may favor a definitive pick. But I figured this would be a good one to just kind of wing it. So, Caleb, you want to?
Boy, if anybody's gonna wing it.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and give us our first spin? The arrows do show which direction you want to spin it, so you want to spin it that way. Big money!
Oh man, money!
come on.
No whammies!
Come on, where we
No
going?
whammies! Sci-fi right off
That's
the
better than
bat.
Thriller.
Good topic.
Okay,
Love it.
let me go to my... I gotta figure out where this thing is at.
So we doing one at a time or just full list?
We can kind of discuss. I think we can kind of... We'll discuss, and then once we finish our discussion, we can kind of give our choice.
Okay.
Spinner, you
Oh,
you did give it, so you want to
Right.
open up maybe a discussion of
all right.
some different ones.
Do you want me to just go ahead and say my favorite right off the bat?
No, we'll save that
last.
last. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Okay, so I've got Ex Machina.
Right.
That is super good movie,
Mhm.
and I think since it's from an indie company, I think that gives it a little bit more
I haven't
stuff
seen
to it.
I haven't-
Super good.
Really?
Yes. I've also got Blade Runner. That's a classic.
That
Right.
was one of mine.
I've got Truman Show
Wow. As a sci-fi,
as a sci-fi.
I would consider that. Yes.
Yeah, because
Would you agree with that? Truman Show,
Yes. Yes.
because of the dome.
Yes.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's just this weird idea
Yeah.
of it's kind of like a Big Brother-y kind of thing, where it's this is a television show of a
But-
person's life.
But yet,
It's
it's even
super
more because he's got no clue when it's been going
Yeah.
on for all the
Yeah.
way until
His entire life.
his entire life up until he's probably around 40.
Yeah,
mid-30s, 40.
somewhere
So yeah, I can definitely see that one as sci-fi now that you make that discussion.
I've got Pacific Rim,
Oh yeah.
which a lot of people it's kind of a mixed movie. A lot of people are like, it's okay. A lot of people really love it. I love Guillermo del Toro.
Kanye West is a huge fan of that movie, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I know. He
Huh.
was like, he
That's
went out of his
super
way to
weird.
say that, like, I love Pacific Rim.
Huh.
Ah.
I like it as I like it as a movie. I love the action and just like the designs of everything. But I also really like it because I think it's a really good like background movie.
I think it's a great premise as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then do we just want to go with the rest of them and then do the favorites, or do you want me to just go ahead and list off my favorites?
Yeah, we can also. Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
Shane as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and then list your favorite.
All right.
Okay. So,
This list.
I know that it's not all going, with the standard classics, but Alien for me has to be up there.
I almost thought that was.
It was one of the
movie as well.
originals.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, almost all of the sci-fi movies that you see that are like they try to take something from that. There's some sort of inspiration that they're trying to take from that. And I went ahead and threw Prometheus on to that topic because I really like Prometheus.
That
I
made
know
my
a lot
list
of
as
people
well.
did not like it.
I distinctly remember like after we watched it, we spent like 2 hours at White
Yeah,
Castle.
see, I love
We-
the discussion.
You were there too.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
It was
yeah.
us three and Wells, right? And we just
Yeah.
discussed that
And
movie.
was
Blake was there too.
Blake was there
Blake
Yeah.
was there.
We discussed that movie
in spirit.
We discussed that movie to like the fullest extent.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Lots of theory.
Did you have any others?
Yeah, but
We'll say that one.
I got a couple others that are tied at the top.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So what? I had a few that were like that. So for
well,
those,
I was gonna say Blade Runner, but
No.
we hadn't. I actually hadn't watched Blade Runner all the way through until I don't know what. Whenever we watched it
I've never actually watched it.
It was a
few years ago,
Yeah, it was a few years
probably
ago.
three,
Yeah, I've never
4
seen
years
it,
ago.
actually.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's been on my list. It's tried to hit my like holds at the library as well. So what I figure we do, if you have some that are pretty tight, you can mention both of those and then make a definitive choice once that comes around for your like best choice.
Okay.
Because I have a few that I'm like wavering on. This one was pretty cut and dry for me. My two others, besides my best one, were Prometheus and The Green Mile.
wow.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
That's
think of
great
that as a
movie.
sci-fi movie, but that
I would.
Oh, it
yeah.
definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
of John.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I didn't think of it as a sci-fi. movie, though.
that almost was my best one. It's so good.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I totally forgot that would even like, yeah. And I've seen it so many times too. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like every time it's on, Dad watches it.
Of
It's one of
course.
his favorite movies.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a film that you almost have to watch when it's on because it's just you've got the main character, Tom Hanks' character, living to his extent. You have the mouse, you have Big John, you have the guard who's corrupt, and you have the
Warden.
The warden. Oh yeah,
It's just a solid movie
It
with a
really
solid
is.
cast.
yeah. We were thinking about it because we were discussing.
Tom Hanks has never made a bad movie. I'll just come out and say it. I don't think he has.
I think almost every Stephen King adaptation to the big screen or television has been great.
Yeah, there.
Because I think I didn't even realize Shawshank was Stephen King.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's phenomenal as well.
The only one that I didn't like Cujo as a film,
Okay,
and Pet Cemetery was a little film.
Mom
Killing
loves that
me.
movie.
I love that
Or
movie too.
mom saw that movie and it was so eerie for her. But go ahead and name this. This was the one I think that I figured that we would have the most crossover on.
Right. So my favorite?
Yeah.
First off, I want to mention something else about Blade Runner that I completely just mind farted on. One of the big reasons I love Blade Runner is the cyberpunk sort of aspect. I love the whole aesthetics of that. I love the idea of it. It's creepy. It's cool. But so my favorite for sci-fi is, I mean, it's pretty obvious. If anybody knows me, it's going to be a Star Wars movie.
Right.
And if anybody really knows how I feel about Star Wars, it's going to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
It's just, you can't beat that. It's a classic sci-fi.
Right.
Okay, I've got two at the top. A Star Wars movie. I've got A New Hope. That's probably my favorite.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, if you take if you look back, Empire Strikes Back's the better film. It's the better all-around movie. But just to me, of course, and I hadn't watched all of them until, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Wow.
Late bloomer.
Yeah, late bloomer. But New Hope, to me, was just kind of... It got it all going, and it didn't have as much going on as Empire Strikes Back, but it just flowed so perfect, in my opinion, that it was just the story of this guy who is destined to be. Like,
Right.
it just had...
It's almost a coming-of-age film.
Yeah,
It is
honestly.
kind of, yeah.
And
With
I
like
didn't
a
The farmer.
just the way that
Yeah.
he worded it made me think of it as a
Yeah.
coming-of-age film.
And it's like a coming of age space western.
like,
Yeah. Especially with Han.
Mhm.
Like, Han definitely has that, like, Western character
Yeah. Oh
vibe.
yeah, definitely.
Granted, it is, what's his name?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm glad someone has words. Your other one.
Inception. Inception for me has to be up there, because as much as we talk about Prometheus, I think as a whole we probably talked about Inception more, because there's
saw
just
that on
so
opening day.
much you can talk about with all of the sequences, and all the big shots, like all the big dream shots where they're crawling on the wall, or the
Mountain.
floodwaters coming, or the mountains.
The van.
The van.
Oh,
It's George Lopez. But that and those final scenes where it's all coming together, and then the ending, of course, just on your seat the whole time, and then even more on your seat after, talking about what's going on, what's happening. This is crazy. We need to talk about this. So good.
So, well, if you had to pick one of them, make that we did say that we were going to do definitive
That's
ones.
true.
I would go, just for pure sci-fi, I'd go Inception.
Okay.
Star Wars probably as a movie, better, but sticking to the sci-fi category, Inception.
I'm between two Star Wars films, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I'm a big fan of that. Luke coming back in the all-black garbs, using the green lightsaber. You have the three-way showdown where you have Vader versus Luke. You have the battle of the Death Star round 2, and then the actual the shield generator on the moon of Endor.
Yeah.
Amazing sequence. I would probably give the edge to Empire, just because I'm not a big fan of them going back to Tatooine. I think that sequence is just a little odd and off. I like it, but I still think introducing Boba Fett. You had Olive Hoth. Just opening with Hoth is so iconic.
Yeah.
People think of it as almost like a snow-based film, but that's the opening scene.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat an opening scene like that, except for maybe A New Hope. A New Hope has an amazing opening scene with the
True.
where you have that iconic scene where the Rebel cruiser is being chased by the
Yeah,
Star
flying.
Destroyer. I mean, to introduce a Star Destroyer in the first scene, that is an amazing way to start off the series.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to go with Empire Strikes Back.
And the opening crawls, we didn't mention that, but those are so good. That's such a cool way to start off the movies.
I think it's a little... I don't like it near as much now. I think back then, in the
Right.
scheme of things, those helped. But I think now that we're 9
now that we
films,
know everything
8,
about...
we're going to be having 9 films this year.
Yeah.
This will be the 9th, correct?
So you don't need to cover
6, 7,
This will be 8.
8. No, because you had
The
Rogue One.
Rogue One. So
And
yeah,
then this
this
is
is
Which was
9.
also really good.
Yeah, Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
Big fan of
So
that.
this, with it being the 9th film, I don't think it's a necessity, but they'll always do it because it's Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
It's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows a Star Wars film is going to have an opening crawl, except
Rogue
Rogue
One,
One,
yeah.
which everybody was really confused by because it brought up kind of a controversy. Everybody was like, "You can't have a Star Wars film without an opening
Granted,
crawl."
it's not a numbered one, so
Right,
I'm guessing
right.
they'll go back to it with.
I'm sure.
I think they already
Last
said
Jedi.
it would.
Okay.
I mean, I would only expect that they
Yeah.
would.
Shane, what you got for us? You ready for a
Come
little
on,
bit
please,
of spin?
please, please. Big money. No whammies. It's this way, right?
Yep.
Come on, get back around to Christmas. Come on. It's going too far. It might get there. It might get there. Come on, stay. No!
Disney.
Oh, that's still good, though.
Pixar
That's still
animation.
good. Oh, man. So close.
You're
Oh, sorry.
really
for you.
enthusiastic about your Christmas movies,
sorry
aren't
for
you?
I just got so many to talk about.
Sorry for you headphones listeners. Shane, go ahead and open us up with some Disney Pixar movies.
Okay, so we go.
Just some notable ones.
Okay, I'm just
And
going to
then-
say some more off the wall ones first.
Okay.
Emperor's New Groove. I love that movie. I'm just going to be totally honest. David Spade is hilarious.
I
in
like
that.
it now more than I did back then when I
Yeah,
first.
I always-
I fell
I agree.
asleep the first time I watched it.
I always loved it. But yeah, that one doesn't get talked
Kronk.
about much.
Yeah, come on.
But it's just great. Probably my first, like, oh wow, this is really good. Bugs Life. That's always been one of my favorite.
Another one that did not make my
Yeah,
list.
Bugs Life.
Another one of
just
those have.
hands down. The animation was spectacular for its time, and the story. I actually haven't watched it in a while, but the final scene with the grasshopper and he's getting ready to freaking annihilate the main character, and then
Flip.
nope, bird comes, chews him up, gone.
And the bird that they make out of
Oh yeah,
leaves, that's really
so
cool.
good.
I'm a pretty butterfly. He's so good. The best character. And then when he gets wings and they're like the size of like pennies for them. It's like little bitty wings like that.
But so good. And I'm actually gonna go like totally off the wall, because it's not really even a movie, but it's an adaptation inside a video game. Neverland in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my gosh.
Love that whole.
But this is film.
I
bud.
don't care. There's cutscenes. You can watch a film of it on YouTube.
He's
It's a
always
film.
gonna do it. I mean,
What do you think of Peter Pan as a movie, though?
Not my favorite.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Okay.
God, there's like I could talk about all of them. Go on, because I got
I'll
some
go.
Yeah,
tied. Yeah, go.
Some of mine I'm gonna list. None of these are my choice. My choice is a definitive one. I made the decision earlier today, but I haven't marked it. Toy Story. I'm actually a fan of Toy Story 2. I'm a big fan of that one.
That's a good one.
With Jesse and
The
Bullseye,
Prospector.
And the
Prospector,
God,
where
such a
the
good
Owl's
villain.
Toy Barn.
Yeah.
That was very, very good. Wall-E, another Pixar film.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's like different amongst all of those because it's like less dialogue. Humans as a even more flawed species because of like technology has like made them obese.
Mm-hmm.
Lion King, it's great. Zootopia,
Haven't
That was
watched it.
good.
love
seen it yet.
Zootopia.
It's pretty
I
good.
nearly cried. It was that good.
It was. I was really surprised by Zootopia.
It was so good. It's worth your time.
Okay, yeah, I just never got around to it.
Less for the movie, more for the soundtrack. Tarzan. I think the Phil Collins soundtrack is phenomenal. Up,
Great.
Monsters Inc. And my last one is a sleeper hit.
This is not your top?
This is not my top.
Okay.
Robin Hood.
That's
Gosh,
a good
I
one.
love
Yeah, that's a
Robin
really
With
Hood.
Little John and as you know, it looks like Baloo. You have Prince John, who's the lion, and the snake, and you got the chicken who does the football scene. That one was close to being my number one.
Honestly, close to being my number one too.
Yeah, and it was very close. I think the things that keep it back are the repeating of scenes, like the scene where he's scaling the building. He repeats that, and they also the use of other movies, like the scene where they're dancing and they use the outline of the Aristocats. They use Baloo from the Jungle Book as the character for John, and so like they rehashed some animation, so I think that knocked it back a little bit. But it has some iconic music, like the whistling.
Yeah.
You have the rooster. I really mean the rooster is very iconic for me with that film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
none of those my choice though.
I would have had Robin Hood on my list as well.
Mm.
I actually didn't put it on my list, but I love that movie. I really do.
Good.
It's not my favorite, but I do really love that movie. I would also put Hercules.
Mm.
I just watched that the other day.
Big fan of Hercules. I love all the music in it.
I'm not a big fan of the early parts of it where he's like growing up.
Where he's the baby and then growing up
Yeah.
with the family.
Yeah, I get that. But I like the whole idea of like him coming to terms of like,
Why am I so strong?
yeah. Right. I've also got, I put Fantasia 2000 on my list, but I would also like to put Fantasia somewhere on there.
Yeah. Both
I think those are really cool. It's really cool ideas. I mean, I prefer Fantasia 2000 just a little bit more. I didn't get scared from Chernobog and the terrifying. I don't even remember what that scene's called, where all the souls are flying around and all the demons are like catching them and stuff.
Cool character though.
Oh yeah, it's a really cool scene.
Yeah,
and the animation is like top notch there. But when I watched it as a kid, I was terrified. I would also say Finding Nemo would probably be on the list somewhere.
Yeah, very good.
I like how Pixar, they put forth a lot of effort into that movie.
Mm-hmm.
They went to like marine biologists and aquariums, and they did all this research on the different types of fish.
He touched the butt.
Yeah, he touched the butt. And it's got some good humor in it, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's got some stuff that I would legitimately laugh at.
One of my favorite scenes from that is near the end whenever, I think it's Nemo's swimming away, or Marlin, and he's got the little crabs trying to grab.
Yeah.
Hi, get out of here.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many Disney Pixar movies.
This was a hard one. There's a reason I had that many.
I also like I'm not a big fan of the movie, but there are some specific parts of it that I really like. The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
You don't hear a lot of people talk about that one, actually.
I like the villain, and I like his
death scene.
His death scene is brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal for a kid's movie.
Not the worst, though. I would actually think the worst is Jack from Tarzan.
Yeah. That's... Yeah, that's really rough,
show
too.
the shadow. Oh, man.
But yeah, and I like... It's probably got one of my favorite Disney songs in it, too.
Which one?
Hellfire. Okay. I love that. I like the dark tones of it. It's kind of... I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like... It's this head of the church and he's being like... Temptation with Esmeralda and everything. It's weird. It doesn't feel... like it should be in a Disney kids movie, but
it's almost like they had to do it because of the historical. Historical connotations.
Mm-hmm. And if we're talking about the Disney villains too, I also want to throw in the bad guy from the Princess. What is it?
Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
I don't remember him. It was
Dr. Facilier or something.
It was. It was like because it's set in like Louisiana.
Yeah.
It was like a Cajun type.
Okay,
because he was voodoo magic.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That was cool.
And some of those scenes were like super trippy.
Yeah.
Weird color changes and
that
stuff.
felt like it could have been done like in the the heyday of the Disney princesses, like 80s, 90s.
Yeah. It felt like it felt kind of like a Disney Renaissance, which is whenever they did all the hand drawn and hand animated things. But yeah.
Your best.
Okay. Well, I kind of didn't, because I had so many that I was going to list off. But I'll get to the best at the end. Okay. The ones that I haven't listed yet, all the Toy Stories. All the Toy Stories are fantastic.
3 is so good, too.
If I had to pick my favorite, Toy Story 3 is my favorite, because some of those scenes are just, like, hit you hard. Like, the when they all think they're done, and it's over, and they hold hands, just... knock me out.
Well, we're gonna die.
That's so good. And
they start climbing, and then like one of them grabs.
And then the final scene where they're like starting anew, just fantastic. So that's my favorite Toy Story movie. But they're all so good. I actually would disagree. I would say 2 is my least favorite, but they're all so good.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got 2 more old school ones. Aladdin, the first Aladdin only. The others are not good at all. But the first Aladdin is fantastic. It's got some of the best soundtrack. It's got Robin Williams as the genie.
Take your order,
fantastic.
You ain't never got a friend like me.
And Jafar is like, he's evil, but he's still dumb enough that it's funny that he's even the villain. Mm-hmm. To me, I find that funny. Another old school one, Beauty and the Beast. Love that movie.
Not necessarily old school. I mean, those were both 90s.
Yeah, well, Renaissance
yeah.
is what I guess they're classified as. Mm-hmm. But another great soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And Beast as a character is just like one of the more complex characters, struggling back and forth between all this different stuff, and so good. Then my top new Pixar movie is Wreck-It Ralph.
That's not Pixar.
That's Disney?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, Disney. It's got Pixar animation, I guess, but it's technically just Disney now because it's all...
Same studio, I think, that did Big Hero 6, correct?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, Big
but
Hero
anyways,
6 was really good too.
Wreck-It Ralph. Big Hero 6 was really good. Mm-hmm. Wreck-It Ralph, fantastic. All the video game stuff just makes it so cool, and John C. Reilly is just the perfect cast.
We may see him later.
And
sports movies.
But my very top, and it's gonna be weird because it's not like even like it's not. But for nostalgia purposes, and I think we just talked about this, Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Yes.
Easily one of my favorite animated movies ever. Just the nostalgia alone gets me every time. The ship, the mystery of it all. It's
the neon colors.
So good.
Really cool. And it's very unsung. I think.
It's
almost like a cult.
Yeah, it is super good. It was one of the they were still figuring out where do we go with more Disney movies.
It was, if I remember right, it was one of the last hand drawn and animated Disney movies.
I think that, and if I'm being, I don't know if I'm being correct in this or not, but you also had Planet Island. Was that
Treasure Island?
Treasure Island.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
which was kind of the same type. I mean, it wasn't really the same. It had the same sci-fi aspects of the thing,
but more space.
Yeah. Because they had flying ships and stuff.
My choice was already mentioned. My number one is Aladdin.
So good.
It's so good.
It
Robin
really
Williams is fantastic. You have the Sultan, who's just
I
a
didn't
dummy,
even mention him.
And
Iago,
Abu.
So good.
It's Jasmine's a cool character. Because she's struggling with being rich and wants to be more normal and finds a normal guy, but then she's still treated like she has to choose a suitor. Very, very, very good.
And the soundtrack. I just want to reiterate the soundtrack.
Prince Ali
gets me every time.
100 bad guys with swords. That's my favorite line from it. Yeah, that's easily.
And I'm pretty sure A Whole New World got nominated for a bunch of stuff Grammys but yeah, great song.
So real quick, I got a question for you because we haven't discussed this, but I want to know what your opinion is on them doing a live action remake of Aladdin.
I didn't see,
especially with Will Smith.
Yeah, no, that's garbage.
Cast as Genie.
It's garbage.
That's bad.
Will Smith as Genie is garbage.
I'm not a fan.
I would have rather than got Dan Castellaneta back from the freaking sequel movie.
I haven't seen either of the live-action Disney movies that they've done, Beauty and the Beast or Jungle Book, which I both heard were very, very good.
Beauty and the Beast is still the top grossing of this year.
Really? Wow.
I've yet to watch that one.
I have too.
So I really have no opinion until I see those, because then I can know what the standard is that they're setting.
Right.
I mean, based on ratings, Jungle Book was phenomenal.
It was pretty good.
Based on ratings.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Christopher Walken as...
he was the monkey.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. King Louis.
Louis.
And singing his song was just... That's something
You should do a Christopher Walken impersonation.
I'm not doing it.
Go ahead with your number one. Ignore Shane's stares.
Maybe later.
Maybe if he comes up on the list again.
Maybe I'll just wait. Oh, well, there you go. My favorite...
Multiple times.
Wayne's World 2.
No.
My favorite's also Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Nice.
I mean...
So good.
I liked how it was one of the last hand-drawn and animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cool. And I wish that they would go a little bit back more towards that.
Careful, bud.
Which, speaking of that, I want to just talk about how I was extremely displeased with Frozen. Because Frozen was originally going to be hand-drawn and animated. And it just... Doing it that way takes so much time that they just decided to do it with the...
Top
CGI.
animated movie of all time, bud.
I cannot stand that movie.
Highly
I haven't
disagree,
watched it.
and if we get to our other animated movie category, I will be able to disprove it. So,
But yeah, Atlantis, that's my top.
Get back around. Too far. It's too far.
Yeah. Rom-com.
Okay,
Here we
where I
go. Where's my list? It's in here somewhere. Oh, lordy. This one was my hardest, and I still have not came to a consensus.
I thought this one was really difficult too.
Only because when we get to my definitive one, that's where it's hard. I have to make a decision at the end. My two I will mention. I have 4 listed. I have 50 First Dates. I think that's a good Adam Sandler. Is probably Adam Sandler's best.
Probably. Maybe.
I disagree with that, but continue.
Okay.
I know what yours
I
would be.
steal.
Ryan Reynolds, Sandra Bullock, The Proposal.
That was on recently.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I think it's so funny.
Ryan Reynolds is so good.
And it has Betty White, and she's like got Native American like spiritualist stuff. I'll leave it cut and dry because I have a lot to say when it comes to my best one.
Oh, okay.
A lot to say.
I've got There's Something About Mary. Because let's face it, that movie is funny.
Stealing me, bud. You're stealing my
Oh,
spotlight.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's too
Keep
funny. I also want to put Princess Bride on there.
Right.
And I'm also going to cut it dry. Just 2.
You've got a lot to say.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of. I mean...
I've got a feeling we may cross over.
We might. We very well might.
I think we might.
I'm trying to think of...
Just wait. Go ahead.
I know what it is now. I know 100%, so I won't say it because that would be on my list too.
Oh.
Okay, first I'll go with my 2 really raunchy rom-coms. That would be Knocked Up
Oh, okay.
and 40-Year-Old Virgin, which are both Judd Apatow movies, but hilarious.
40-Year-Old Virgin is so funny.
Yeah, that's like one of the first...
Never watched them.
You didn't see 40-Year-Old Virgin?
I've not.
Oh, but...
I've seen bits and pieces of 40-Year-Old.
Oh,
I've not seen
They're
Knocked
so
Up, though.
good.
But I haven't sat through and watched them all.
Oh, they're both really good.
I've been meaning to. But then again, you're also talking to the guy who hadn't watched Superbad when
Yeah,
everybody knew
Superbad
about
for
it.
like years.
Wow.
Now I'm gonna go way on back to one of the originals. I have to put it on there. When Harry Met Sally, just a great movie. Billy Crystal at his peak, so good. Not gonna get any better than that. Also, Along Came Polly. That's a great movie. That's Jennifer Aniston and Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, yeah.
There's a lot of good Ben Stiller rom-coms.
Dodgeball?
Not really, but I mean,
kind of.
sort of. And I'm gonna cut because I could talk about, but I know you guys are gonna talk about it, and then my top's already been talked about.
Oh,
Wow. Ooh.
well then.
So I'm very much on record of loving the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and that was my easy choice whenever I started it.
I know it's coming.
But
know
I
it's coming.
looked back through and saw one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think it does outweigh it.
Gotta be.
It is so funny. Kevin James Will
I knew it was it.
Hitch is one of my favorite movies.
I knew it was Hitch.
Will Smith has is so suave, and Kevin James is not. But he's so funny. The dancing scene where he's like, "I'll cut one of these and cut one of these,"
Oh,
and he's like,
good.
"Don't ever
I knew,
do that
it would
again.
be Hitch, though.
Hitch is so
And
good.
the inhaler scene where he's walking back to the car and he sucks it and just throws it on the ground.
He like that. I love Scott Pilgrim, but I think if it was more true to the book, with it being a long-term movie instead of it being a 3-week movie, it would have been my number one. But Hitch is just that good. Hitch has so many iconic scenes, like the Knicks game where he spills the stuff
Oh
on
my
his
God.
the chips.
So good.
Oh yeah, so that has to be my number one, and I'm expecting it to be Caleb's.
It's not.
Whoa!
I thought it would be too.
No, it's not.
Let's hear it then.
First off, Wags would be super proud and happy that you chose that because
Oh yeah, that's like
he loves Kevin James.
Yeah, he loves like even the
Kevin
bad
James.
Kevin James movies,
Like the
wrestling one that was just out recently.
the MMA one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty
Here
sure
comes
I
the
saw that.
boom.
That's right.
God,
That's
yeah.
right. Have you watched his new show? It's sort of funny. It's called Kevin Can Wait. It's
Yeah,
on
I
CBS.
have seen the previews and stuff
It,
for
it
it.
got renewed, so
Oh, good.
yeah.
Oh, good.
My favorite is going to be Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
I think that movie's hilarious. In
Wow.
a not overtly like
It's not
hey,
intentional.
we're making jokes. It's like, hey, this is funny because of a situation or whatever.
Right.
And I love Wes Anderson movies.
Mhm.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a good cast.
An amazing
I mean,
cast.
And I would have also labeled that as a coming of age movie,
Which
but
we discussed earlier.
I like it. I like it as a rom-com. But yeah, that's mine.
Shane, what do you got for us?
Well, I left off number 2 as well.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
No one had mentioned it, and it's kind of off the wall. Okay, number 2 for me is What Women Want. It's Mel Gibson.
Oh my
He
god!
gets shocked in the bathtub,
Yes.
and then he can hear every woman's voice
Yes.
walk past. That's
Forgot about
a
that
hilarious
movie.
movie. And then number 1 is Something About Mary. Just everything. Ben Stiller, Matt Dillon, Cameron Diaz, Brett Favre cameo at the end. It's all there. So many good scenes. The pizza guy, Norm, who's pretending to be the crippled guy, and he's just a pizza guy. So good. Matt Dillon with the fake teeth. What you looking at, choppers? So many lines. Fantastic. The zipper scene. Just everything about that movie is hilarious.
Good.
Was that it? Oh, was I last?
Yeah, you
oh,
were
That's
last.
right. I spun.
You did no,
Oh,
I spun.
you spun.
I went.
Oh,
I
yeah, you went first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's me.
Caleb's up for
Oh
spinning.
lord, here we go.
Come
Sing
on.
us a real song. Sing us a real song.
Wheel in the sky. Come on. It might get there. It might get there. Oh! No!
Horror film.
This is my category, man. No,
no,
stop it! You stop that!
Get out of here. Horror. That's. Caleb, start us
Okay,
off.
so I've actually got Alien as a horror movie.
Yeah.
Hey, don't shake your head at me.
I would've-
I'm sorry that I didn't get it to Christmas. I know
Now
you're
we got a nice big
disappointed.
chunk there. If it lands
That's
in here, it
true.
goes 3.
That's true.
Like a quarter of the board. Oh, like look.
Yep, now we just need to land
Yeah.
on, because that's a good one too.
Yeah, true.
And what's the? Oh yeah, I need to skip non-Disney animation because I only know Shrek.
But yeah, I've got Alien as a horror movie.
Yep.
I've got The Thing, which
Right.
was really tough because that was almost my favorite. I love the not the remake or not the prequel remake sort of thing. That was like 2011, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it was
yeah,
good.
no, not that one. The original, the OG. I've also got Cabin in the Woods,
Oh, the
like the satirical horror movie.
pretty recent. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how
I heard a lot of good things about it.
I like because it plays on all the like horror movie tropes.
Right.
So, and I've also got 28 Days Later,
Oh, I have seen that.
which, I mean, if we're gonna talk about zombie movies, come on. Which, I mean, it's not technically zombies, but it basically is.
I would consider them
Yeah.
zombies. It's
I would
considered
too.
one of the greatest zombie films.
Yeah, I
One-
mean,
I would say one of the top 3.
probably. Yeah.
My next.
Yeah, you are.
What do I have? Oh yeah, I've got two off the wall ones. Yeah, I winged this one and didn't think at all, so I'm just gonna say one first, and then go back to because I've only got two actually in mind. Although I will say that like the OG like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, I like those, especially Nightmare on Elm Street more so than Friday the 13th because yeah, I much prefer Nightmare on Elm Street.
Why don't we do this? I only have one listed because I've only seen one horror film other than 28 Days Later. Mm-hmm. I would not have necessarily considered that one a horror film, even though it is. Yeah. So why don't you just list all of yours? Okay. I'll list my one, and then we can have Caleb be the headliner.
Oh Lord, you know what it's going to be.
Then my next is
Anchorman?
Yeah, Anchorman, my favorite horror movie.
It's scary when he gets killed by the Triton.
I'm not sure if anyone has seen The Faculty. Have you seen that? It's a high school.
I watched little bits of it.
Aliens invade the like teachers and principal and the kids are like, what's going on here? Yeah. All the teachers are aliens, and then eventually like all the kids are aliens, and there's just like a handful of kids running away from like all these aliens.
They like hole up in the gym, right?
They hold up in the pool area.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
And then the giant alien like comes out, and it's just like this crazy looking like tentacle thing trying to eat everyone. But that's a more off the wall,
crazy tentacle thing.
More off the wall and another off the wall, but probably, and I've always said this, probably one of my favorites, and it's like horror mystery. It's everything, but I saved it for horror because
Clue.
My girlfriend likes that movie.
Stir of Echoes.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. I don't think you've seen it. I'm not sure if anyone has seen it. It's
81. Even Kevin Bacon, who was in it.
No, he would have. But no, I think it has a fairly decent rate. I don't know. I've never checked. But I just remember it being so super creepy because, okay, I'll do a short synopsis. Basically, Kevin Bacon gets hypnotized and then he starts like hearing this voice and seeing this girl and yada yada yada, and then he like goes crazy, but everyone just thinks he's crazy, and he starts digging under his house because he's like, something's under here, I feel it, I hear it, yada yada yada, and he's getting all these flashbacks of things he wouldn't remember because it's like this girl's life and all this stuff, and then finally it comes to find out that he's unearthed this murder that had taken place where this little girl or not a little girl, but like a teenage girl got murdered, and she was like buried underneath the foundation of where his house was built, and that's why he was hearing all the noises. Wow. And he wasn't crazy, and everyone thought he was, but he unearths this like big murder case, and then finally he's at peace, and because he was like, I think he was a writer, and he was like looking for his next big like book to write, and obviously he found it with that, but it's super creepy. Like all the way through. It's got a really good soundtrack too. Like it's got Painted Black by Rolling Stones, and it plays it like multiple times throughout. But it's really like weirdly placed to make it like even stranger.
Yeah, like eerily.
But yeah, it's super like it's a super good one. I've always maintained that that's one of my favorites because that's like one of the first films that like creeped me out. Anyway.
So you think that was your...
That's my top.
Okay.
That's my top for now.
Mine is, like I said, and if you saw last time's episode, I'm not a big horror fan. I've only seen one or two.
See, I'm not a big, like, slash 'em up guy either, so...
My choice is Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, that is a good one.
And so...
That's just such a good movie that I don't classify it as horror. Yeah. I mean, it is horror, but I don't think of it as, like, that.
Yeah, because it didn't scare me. Yeah. I just thought it was just, like... When you talk to people who would have seen it when it came out, they're like, it's horrifying. Yeah. And it's not really. It's just really creepy. You have the Buffalo Bill scenes where he's got the glasses.
Where he texts his...
Would you fuck me?
Oh, gosh, it's so creepy. That's so weird.
He's got the infrared.
Was she a really big fat gal?
You've got the 12 or so minutes of Hannibal that... where...
Which, Anthony Hopkins...
Like his monologue.
And then the scenes, and then... him at the end.
I think that
dinner
swept the
with
Oscars. I think that's one of the last movies that swept the Oscars.
I'm having dinner with an old friend. I mean, that's an iconic line and things like that. It's one of those films that makes me want to watch more horror. And more horror in that vein, where it's not just like jump scares or like I want to feel like you. I had mentioned it to you about The Shining, and I think I talked to a mom about it as well yesterday. It makes you feel like your skin is crawling, not necessarily like that something's going to jump out from behind you and eat you. It's just the atmosphere and the tone and the sounds are just like that's what drives the horror, not just like. It's a damn monster. Gonna get you.
Yeah.
There he is. Yep, got me. There goes my leg. All right.
And that's why The Shining's my favorite.
Right.
I mean...
I actually totally forgot about that. Honestly, I'd probably put that as my favorite as well. Because I'm pretty sure we've talked about how both are...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't have a Stephen King.
I like I said, I didn't prepare, and then I just forgot everything. But I'm gonna back on. I'm just gonna piggyback off basically everything Caleb's saying because we've talked about this before.
We have. It's super creepy. I'm not a big. I hate jump scares in horror movies. I think they're a cheap way of doing it.
Bean likes them. Oh shit!
He jumps at everything.
Everything, like quiet room. Telephone loud rings. Oh shit!
What was it? We went to watch. Was it Sinister? Was that the movie with the
Bagul?
Yeah, Bagul the demon and
Bagul
stuff.
gonna get you.
Oh my gosh!
Well, he jumped it. Get Out.
Yeah,
when they
that's
hit
true.
the deer. He's like, oh shit!
Hey, I jumped at that one too. I wasn't expecting it, but I hate jump scares. I think they're really cheap.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb.
I think they're a cheap way of like.
Oh shit!
Shouts the Wells.
But yeah, I mean, it's just.
Get out behind there.
It's such
like living in your own little shadow.
It's such an iconic, like, classic movie. You know.
I love using the clip or the little screenshot where he's covered in snow. That gets me every time.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson just blows.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
that
good
movie out
memes
the
with that, like me waiting for Christmas, me waiting for something.
Yeah.
And it's got like some really good lines in it that everybody knows. Everybody knows Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that scene.
Yeah.
Him freaking chopping the door down.
My favorite is where he's got the baseball bat on the stairs. Or where Shelley Duvall's got the baseball bat.
Right.
And he's like, come here.
Slowly going up the
And
stairs.
yeah, he's like trying to convince her not to hit him with the baseball bat.
They
Just give me the bat.
They refilmed that scene like 200 times
That's not surprising.
because Stanley Kubrick was like really meticulous about everything,
right.
and supposedly like that's one of the reasons Shelley Duvall's like crazy now because he like drove her crazy.
Probably.
So she is like crazy, like
Yeah,
she's really crazy
lost,
now.
dude.
Wow.
She was on like Dr. Phil, and like she thinks that people like are inside of her body, and she thinks that like people are like doctors are gonna like cut her open to like look inside, and it's gonna like she's really messed up.
Wow.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah. But I love the movie.
Yeah,
It sucks. It sucks that Shelley Duvall went crazy.
That is a great
from
movie.
It, but yeah, I mean, and it's got so
kid.
many. Yeah,
The kid was great.
yeah. I'm not like a huge fan of kids in movies because a lot of times
They suck.
they're. Well, I mean, let's face it. They're a lot of times.
what do I say?
A lot of times you'll get kid actors and they'll be in a movie and it'll just kind of fall flat.
Right.
But, you know, every once in a while you get a movie and it's got a kid actor. What are you getting ready to
I was
say?
gonna say Bucky Larson from the
Yeah.
star.
You're a bad person. Like The Sixth Sense.
What's that David Spade movie where he's the like kid star?
Fuck you, Larson!
No, it's not.
I-
Blake would know it.
Yeah,
but
of course
I
he
don't.
would. Well,
Yeah, move on.
But yeah,
Sixth Sense, I think he does good.
yeah.
I think Haley Joel Osment
Yeah.
does good.
But, I mean, the
That's
kid.
another good
Yeah.
horror
True.
movie.
True.
And so is Signs. Signs is also really good.
True. And yeah, like the hallway scenes,
And
they're
the little
super
girls.
creepy.
Oh, and the bathtub scene.
Oh god.
That's the creepiest of all of them.
Yeah.
Dickie Roberts.
Dickie Roberts, childhood star. That's what I was thinking
Jeez
of.
Louise.
Man, that's just my top film of all time right there.
Take a whirl, Shane.
Come on. Gimme. Crimbus. I'm just gonna spin it so hard.
Don't, not too hard. This isn't just hard enough. Wrap me up like me. Oh,
that's a good one. That's a good
comedy.
one. There's a lot here.
Oh, jeez.
Shane, go ahead
I'm
and
just gonna go over like every Ben Stiller Will Ferrell movie. Okay, man, there's a lot, so I'll just get it started. Bruce Almighty. That's a hilarious movie. Jim Carrey he's actually, I'm just gonna go by actor. We're gonna go Jim Carrey movies first, because Bruce Almighty is fantastic. Me, Myself, and Irene is fantastic.
The Mask.
The Mask is fantastic, but Ben Stiller movies. Okay.
Let's not take too long on this.
Okay, actually,
We have Christmas.
I'll
as
say
well
Ben
ahead.
Stiller movies for last, because man, this is hard. There's so many. Okay.
This is why we
Okay,
prepare for
but
these
there's
things.
so many. There's so
This is
many.
why
I don't think I could ever. Okay. I'm gonna go Ben Stiller movies. I'm gonna save. It's a more unconventional comedy for last. Okay, Ben Stiller movies. Zoolander, one of my hands down favorites. Hilarious.
I'm actually surprised it's not your top.
It's not my top. I'm gonna go with a more. It's actual like funny than like stupid funny
okay.
as my top. But Zoolander, hilarious. Envy, hilarious. That brings us back to Christopher Walken. It's Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Christopher Walken. Great movie. It's such a dumb plot, but it's so good. I have one more Ben Stiller movie. Well, we already talked about something about Mary. Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Dodgeball is like one of the first, like, when we were like teenagers, and it was so hilarious when it came
The
out.
Ocho.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. And Chuck Norris at the end. Jason Bateman. Okay, so good. Will Ferrell movies. We're gonna go The Other Guys.
So good.
Has to be up.
I remember
Aim
watching.
for the bushes.
I remember watching that the first time and thinking, "What in the world is this?" Like I'm just like. And then you watch it the second time, you realize how good it is.
Talladega Nights, gotta throw it in there. Love that movie. It's so stupid. NASCAR's so good, and it's so good. Anchorman 2, hilarious. There's a mint julep for you on the other side. And the lobster scene, or the shark. What's the line about brushing his teeth? A live lobster.
And Champ's restaurant with
The bat.
Chicken in the cave.
That is such a good one. But Anchorman 1 is ahead of it.
We need to
for
watch
me.
that again.
We do.
I have both of them. It's in a 2-disc set. I think they're the special editions as well. Bean gave it to me for Christmas. But Anchorman 1 is above that. I can't count the amount of one-liners. There's probably like 24.
Where'd you get a hand grenade?
One-liners.
Look, I'm riding it.
The guy with the trident.
The bear.
And
Stop it.
freaking. Oh my god. Paul Rudd's Brian Fantana.
Fantana.
He's
like your favorite.
He's my favorite character. The cologne scene is just
The
so
Panther.
good. It's Sex Panther. Oh, it smells like pure gasoline. It's got real chunks of Panther in it. 60% of the time, it works every time. You know, that really doesn't make any sense, Brian. But that's such a good one. Okay, and then I'm gonna round out the stupid movies with the stupidest of them all. Hot Rod. It's gotta be Hot Rod. So dumb, but so
Jump in the pool.
funny. I've been drinking green tea all damn day.
Totally my hat.
Totally my hat. Totally my hat. And Cool Beans, and the editing of like the videos, and Bill Hader getting the chunk of like metal in his eye.
And when he goes off the ramp and it, like the bike is here, he's just like
So good. Okay, I just named like 8, but I still haven't named. Okay, so that's all. I've saved my top.
Oh,
okay. We'll skip Anchorman because that was already mentioned. The Hangover.
glass cannon of
The Hangover has to be mentioned.
Oh,
Because,
God, yeah.
Remember when that came out and it was like the fire?
The funny movie.
I
We
have
watched that with Brian and Keith.
I have the Truman Show.
We did.
I have the Truman Show on there. I would consider that like halfway comedy. One that's lesser known is an indie film called Robot and Frank. So I'm a big fan of that movie.
Gosh, that sounds really
It's
familiar.
a near future film where Frank has Alzheimer's, but he was a cat burglar, and his son gets him a personal assistance robot, and Frank finds out the robot has no sense of justice or morality, so he teaches it how to like pick locks.
That's so good.
It's really good. Zombieland. It's got Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson.
And isn't Bill Murray in that?
Bill Murray's
Yeah.
in it. Yes, probably one of the better scenes. Also, I mentioned Grand Budapest Hotel. I would consider that, and that's probably that's
Wow, I just really love Wes Anderson movies.
it's such a. It's got a great cast.
Yeah.
It's the way I describe it.
Owen Wilson and Zoolander.
The
He's
way-
one of the best parts.
The way I describe that movie is like it's a parody of a traditional thriller movie because it has like the scenes of a thriller movie, like the ski scene, which is hilarious. I love the ski scene, but it's so well done. The plot is amazing. The characters are just so good. Yeah, those are probably the ones that I would mention.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there are. This is probably one of the most broad of the categories.
I would say Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Mhm.
Come on, that's a classic.
Has to be mentioned.
When we watched that.
we watched that
together.
I love
It was a long time ago.
a long time
It was at
ago.
Anthony's house.
Oh gosh,
Just to
yeah.
tell you how long ago.
Yeah, that's a good one. Of course, Anchorman 1 and 2 are both on my
We
list
saw
too.
2 in theaters together.
Some people don't like to.
It's so funny. With like,
I think I like 2 almost solely because of the John C. Reilly scene.
who's
also
who's the
I know.
ghost in that movie?
It's John C.
Oh
Reilly.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
he comes, he's a Civil War. He's what ghost is he? He's the ghost of
Oh gosh.
Grimwald Johnson.
Stonewall Jackson.
Stonewall
Stonewall
Jackson.
Yeah, from the Civil War.
Is that the ghost of Stonewall Jackson? Are any of you guys seeing this?
Kanye West is in that scene.
Gosh.
And Will Smith.
God, yeah.
And they bring back a Vince Vaughn.
And then he blows himself up.
That is the coolest. What is it? It's like that's the most badass thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
When he
on my
lets the
list.
shark go and he's sobbing.
Toby.
Oh man,
Oh man,
that's good.
jeez.
That's good stuff.
What else you got, Caleb?
Let's see. This one I didn't.
Hot Rod.
I do love Hot Rod. I won't lie, I love that movie.
Call me Hot Rod.
Gosh, that got way out of hand.
Remember the theory where we were going to watch it on every TV in every room?
I
in
still
Avery's-
wanna do that.
In Avery's house.
We'll road trip out to Cali and do it.
He lives in Nevada.
Okay, well, out to Nevada.
Same thing, yeah.
Gosh, I was really bad at this category. There's so many comedy movies, but I didn't.
Some
put,
of them like wash together too, because they show them on TV like so much.
True.
Yeah.
I would also put. I would also put Billy Madison on there.
Well,
Yeah.
if we get another category,
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky.
I haven't watched that one.
But it's so
Where he's-
dumb.
where he's
but
the
it's
son of
so
Satan.
good.
Yeah, I know. Blake got it for me. I haven't watched it
It's
yet.
so good,
I would
bad.
Good.
if we get sports movies, I do have an Adam Sandler. I do have an Adam Sandler sports movie on my list for sports.
I know what it is.
You'd be
There's
surprised.
two. There's two that could be on there.
3.
What's the third?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, I know 2 of them.
Yeah.
What's the third?
Is it Shane up for his
Yeah,
best?
yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
Shane.
Okay, I forgot one that I'm gonna throw in underneath my top, but it also does not fall in the stupid category, so it kind of works out. Office Space.
Oh my god!
That's-
Yeah.
That's just a total classic and one of my all-time
Two
favorites.
girls.
Two girls at the same time. Really? That's what you do? Damn right, man.
Oh man.
Hey, anyone seen my statement? But my number one is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh,
I think we've
gosh,
talked about this,
yes.
but just George Clooney
I would
in
al-
that movie is so
I would
good.
almost that if I were to pick a genre for that one, I know it's comedy, but I would almost pick that as adventure because it's like
It's
very
also like historical.
historical. Yeah, I can see that. That's a
I
good.
want my damn what? Or no, I don't want what? I want damn Dirty Dan or Dapper Dan.
Soggy Bottom Boys.
How long? Okay, how long will it take me to get it from Atlanta? About 2 weeks. How long from Richmond? Probably about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from here, 2 weeks from there. It's a damn geographical anomaly.
George
yeah,
Clooney
that's-
is like so smart for that
So-
role too.
so
He's
good.
very well spoken, but yet
thought you was a toad.
Oh gosh.
a few that we forgot to mention that I think
Anchorman.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I'm a big fan of Employee of the Month.
Can I
as
start
well.
eating?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Chewed right in the camera.
Employee of the Month, I really like the.
Which one is that?
That has Jessica Simpson and
Is that Ashton Kutcher?
No. That's
Is it Sean William Scott?
no, it's another. It's a stand-up.
No, I think he
Stand-up
is in
comic.
that one.
Who? Sean William Scott?
Yeah, I think he might be.
Or is it oh god? who's
Maybe
that
I'm
one
thinking
guy?
of a different.
I can't think of his name.
Oh,
look it
Jeff
up.
Dunham.
My number one has been mentioned. Is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Dan Cook.
Oh,
Oh,
God!
gosh, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Dan in Real Life. That's a great movie. I didn't talk enough about Steve Carell movies, but that's a great movie. Dane Cook's actually funny in that. I don't think Dane Cook's very funny, but
Yeah,
he's funny in that.
And I think he's funny in Employee of the Month. I think that was one that we saw in theaters, and I just thought was funny. But Monty Python and the Holy Grail is like the definitive like the ending. Are you kidding me? That's a great choice. You have so many scenes where he's running. And it keeps panning to the same scene of him running, and then he just like shows up and kills him, and he's like, "Hey, you can't do that." So good.
I think that movie set like a standard for our sense of humor too.
Oh my god!
man.
Because we watched it so early, and it just like it set the bar. It was
like
okay, well.
obscure stuff like where he asks about the swallow, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Is it African, Australian?" And then it blows the guy up at the bridge, and the animation scene where the animator dies. So I mean, there's so much just like obscure, just like that should not be in there.
I forgot one. Actually, no, I'll save it for another topic because that actually will. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Okay, Caleb.
Because that'll save me in that specific topic because I don't have any except Shrek.
Uh-oh. My top's going to be Tim and Eric's $1 billion.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. It's not.
Blake actually told me to say that for every. Because he's like, it is everything.
Forget you, Blake.
I do
No,
love.
I love that movie.
I do
hate
love
that.
Tim and
I do
Eric.
not like that movie.
I
at
just
all.
love Tim and Eric in general.
Yeah, that's true. No, there were a couple movies that I didn't think of until just now that I should definitely put on my list. Burn After Reading.
Oh god, that's so good.
It's
That's another
really
Coen
good.
movie.
Um,
All the Coen movies, actually.
True.
Freaking Raising Arizona with Nick Cage. That's such a good one.
Real quick, while you mention that, I'm also a huge fan of Bernie.
oh my
Jack Black
gosh,
movie.
yeah. I don't think I ever told you. I finally sat down and watched that.
It's so
I
good.
haven't, but I
it's
think
so
it was
funny.
really, really
like
good.
him singing gospel in the car, and
Didn't he get in trouble for like making that? Didn't they like try to sue him or something?
I have no idea. Not that I know of, but like
I don't
Okay.
know.
it's like
It's really good.
his just like his mannerisms and the way he talks. Oh, Marjorie, so funny.
I also want to put The Men Who Stare at Goats
God.
because I think that's a pretty funny movie
Did we
too.
watch that one together?
I don't know. I don't know if we did.
I feel like maybe we did.
I've definitely seen that a few different times
multiple
though.
times.
think there was another one that I was going to put.
That's
on there,
Jason
too.
Bateman, right? Is he in that? Or am I thinking of something totally different?
I think you might be thinking something different.
Look up Ministry Goats.
I'll look up in a second.
But yeah, my favorite's actually been mentioned too. It was Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes, I figured it would be yours. When you gave me, I knew the look that you gave, and I was like, that's his.
Definitely it. Definitely because it has one of my favorite actors.
Wilson.
Well, besides Owen Wilson.
Bill Murray.
Oh, we didn't even mention Groundhog Day, by the way.
Oh,
Great
Brian's
movie.
favorite movie.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Hewitt loves it. That was his profile picture.
Brian Brooks hates that movie. Actually, we didn't talk about a lot of 80s movies.
That's true, we didn't.
Ghostbusters.
Back to the Future,
There's a lot of them.
Ghostbusters, Revenge of the Nerds.
Ghostbusters is really like a slept on, like,
And it's also sci-fi.
yeah,
Sure.
and horror technically, because it's the paranormal, like ghosts.
And rom-com because I'm in love with Bill Murray.
Like Avery is with Vince Vaughn. He wanted to kiss his stomach.
No, he wanted to blow his tummy.
Yeah, you blow his tummy.
Give him a raspberry. Or what is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Raspberry.
Thank you for the verbiage.
Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Come on.
I also like the kid, the bellboy that he trains.
He's really good.
Yeah.
That's actually the same kid who was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. The kid who played Flash. The bully.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Penis Parker. Yeah, right.
Have you seen that yet? No.
Oh man.
You'll love
Pretty
it.
good.
It's my favorite.
That's almost a coming of age film as well. With the
True,
if you
yeah.
see in the focal point of the bellboy, who is the main character technically.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
I forgot a
great
few
cast.
movies. I forgot
It's really funny.
Superbad. I know we talked about it, but that is one of my favorites. And I also forgot Horrible Bosses, which is hilarious.
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, you would
It's
love
pretty
it.
fun. It's
I
pretty
know I
funny.
would.
'Cause
I
it's
just
got-
know I would.
Charlie Day!
Yeah, Charlie Day, Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis, and Kevin Spacey, and the cast is fantastic. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, and then it's got Jennifer Aniston too.
Yeah, it's just great. It's a great movie. Now, don't watch the second one, though. It's bad. The second one's
Oh.
really bad.
Shane, you got a wheel song for me?
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel.
I'm wondering how many more wheel-based songs you're going to be able to pull up.
Drama, boys.
Oof.
This is my
This
easiest
is a
topic.
broad topic.
Very.
I've got some real good ones for this.
I'm gonna say 2. 1 because it would give away my number 1.
Gosh dang, why didn't we mention that in comedy?
Because I'm gonna go based on what they think it is.
Oh.
Not how I view it.
Okay.
My 3 that I will mention is Gran Torino,
Oh, that's
Okay,
a good one.
yeah.
The Social
There's
Network.
way too many drama movies.
The Social Network is very, very, very good. Eisenberg played such a good Mark Zuckerberg.
Mm-hmm.
And Shawshank Redemption. I think we mentioned that with Stephen King films.
You've saved your top, though?
Mhm.
Okay.
Those 3 are good choices, though.
I'm going to say Her.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There Will Be Blood, which was almost my favorite. Almost. Because it's just such a good movie. And then I also want to put Birdman on there.
Oh, okay,
as well.
yeah. Surprised you didn't pick that as superhero, technically.
Yeah, I mean,
technically, but
Technically it is, but I kind of see it more as like a dramatic
right,
sort of thing. So
right. We got
Okay, I'm just gonna say one. I'm just gonna start with
your favorite.
one. Yeah, Titanic. I know that everyone hates on that movie. I don't know why. It's a great movie. You guys can shut your mouths. It's a great movie. I don't see how you guys don't like that. I don't see how none of you like no one likes that movie except me.
not
And
good.
it's so good.
No.
It's a great movie. The cinematography is great. The acting is good. The story is good. It's all good.
It's too long.
It's not that long.
Yeah.
You need to just sit down.
You
and
needed
watch
2
it.
VHSs.
Enjoy it.
2 VHS. A box set for a
Get it
single
on
movie.
DVD. That's what I have it on.
Box set for a single movie. No go.
It's a great movie.
No go.
It's a great movie. It's as simple as that. Leo, one of Leo's breakthroughs. Well, minus What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which is also a drama, which is a great movie. Leo's. I don't think Leo's made a bad movie either. Leo and Tom Hanks, like they're up for echelon. But yeah, Titanic. I knew that I could get going on this, and you guys would berate me because you think it sucks.
To be fair, I haven't said anything. I just don't like it.
We're gonna watch it again.
Please,
in its
no.
entirety. In its entirety.
I'm sick.
No, no.
I'll be on vacation.
I'll come over when you're not. I'll give you a chicken noodle soup.
Gosh.
What a good man, but no.
Or tomato, whichever you want, whichever you fancy.
Chicken.
Okay.
Give us more.
Go back. I didn't prepare for this, and I'm drawing a huge blank. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna say. Has Dill seen this one?
I don't know. I don't know if he has. I really don't.
Okay. Technically, this is classified as a drama, so that's why we'll put it here. It's really a comedy. The Room.
Oh.
Everything about that movie is just so bad that it's hilarious. But it's technically a drama and a rom-com.
You're knocking this category out of the park.
and a comedy, and action, and sports.
Knocking it out.
You're only saying sports because they throw a football around a couple of times.
They don't even throw it right. Yeah, but that is a great movie. I say that with no sarcasm.
You were doing a great
all.
job on this.
I definitely do not have a plastic sign of Tommy Wiseau screaming, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa," hanging up in my room or anything.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, Gunnar got it for
That's
me.
right, I forgot.
Do you have anything?
No, I can't think.
Oh man,
There's a lot that I'm forgetting, but I can't think.
My number one, I did not mention the second part to this film, but number one is Godfather.
Oh yeah.
I think Godfather is, like, it is, when I went into it, because I just watched it late last year for the first time. When I went into it, I thought it was going to be like an atypical mafia movie, but it is not. It is based on the dialogue, the connections between the characters, the reasons why they make their decisions to commit the crimes. Michael as a character just going into decline so quickly. I'm a big fan of the scenes in Italy. I think that defines him.
The cast is so good.
So good. That is Robert Duvall.
I just thought of one.
Okay.
That is actually my favorite. I totally forgot. I don't know how I forgot it.
You're welcome.
But it is my favorite drama movie. The Departed.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, I was surprised.
Easily. Yeah, it just totally passed over. That's easily my favorite drama / gangster. And it's another Leo film.
Yep.
And Jack Nicholson.
And Matt
Damon.
And Marky Mark.
Marky Mark and I forget the guy's name. He's in Blackish. The main guy on Blackish. It's like something Anderson. Anyway, he's good in it. He has a minor role, but he's good in it. He gets shot. They all get shot. That's the end. They all get shot, except for Marky Mark. But yeah, that's spoilers. That's a great. That's easy. Yeah,
really good.
I don't know why I forgot about that. That's above Titanic for me in drama. Although both of those are in the top 10 as overall movies.
So yeah, I think The Godfather is near perfect. It's very long, and if it was done today, it would be done in individual, like, it would be a 10 episode like series, because that's how cinema is done today. But I also think part 2 is good as well. Watching Michael even more crumble into corruption. So good. So good. Caleb?
Okay. So my favorite is going to be. What are you doing with the sign?
Oh, sorry.
Put that down! Quit playing with it! It's not a damn toy!
Can I rip it?
No! It's your list! Hey, go ahead. It's your list.
Yeah, fine, do it. I don't care.
Yeah, it's half-baked anyway.
You're like a little kid. Oh, gosh. My favorite is going to be Moon.
Moon,
I don't know if
okay.
you guys have seen that.
That is...
I don't even know.
Which one is that?
Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
So that's old.
No.
No, it was real. It's when last 8 years?
It's within the last 8 years.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's about this guy. He works on the moon. He's by himself except for this robot. It's directed by Duncan Jones.
Okay.
Jeez, Alicia, you're just throwing stuff all over the place.
Oh, sorry.
But he works on the moon, and he has a family at home. He's basically alone, and it's basically like it goes through his routine, and eventually he finds a moon rover that's crashed, and he opens it up, and I guess there's like a distress signal, and he goes to the moon rover, opens it up to see who was on the moon, and who had the distress signal, and he finds himself. And so then it gets into this whole thing of like, why is there two of him? Mm-hmm. How did that happen?
That's interesting. That sounds really cool.
It's super good. It's really depressing. I won't lie, I teared up a bit watching it just because it was like damn, this is heavy. Really good. Definitely my favorite one though.
Nice, interesting choice.
Highly recommend it.
Okay.
Highly recommend
That'll
it.
be one I need to watch.
It's kind of different. Well, whenever I was trying to find it, to like actually own it, I had a little bit of difficulty finding it.
Where'd you get it? Amazon?
Oh, jeez. No, it was the, what was that movie place that was in the mall? A long time ago.
Oh.
Sun.
No. I know exactly the one you're talking about. They sold CDs too.
Yeah.
Where the CDs were all in the middle.
Yeah, and that. Gosh, what was the name of that?
I remember.
That whole franchise is like shut down.
Sam Goody?
Yeah,
no.
It was what Sam Goody turned into afterwards.
I have no idea.
I can't remember either, but that's where I found it.
Okay.
So
your spin. What we got?
I miss a movie.
Well, too late. Oh, documentary.
I only got one for this.
I've only got two for this.
I only have two as well. So this will be a quick one.
Although there may be some that I've forgotten.
So
Just throw that on the floor.
my first documentary that I'm going to say.
We can just say them both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I Know That Voice.
Okay.
It's about voice acting. I love voice acting.
Cool.
So it's a documentary, and it talks about different voice actors, how they got into the business. Of course, it mentions like Mel Blanc, who was the voice of like Bugs Bunny, and like all of the original Looney Tunes characters, because he's pretty much considered like the original voice actor.
Right.
So really, it's a really cool insight. It actually mentions like some modern ones too. But my favorite though is going to be Jiro Dreams of Sushi, which I don't know if you've seen that. Mm-mm. It's on, I think it's still on Netflix. But it's about this guy and how he's worked his entire life to own a sushi restaurant in Japan. And I think if I recall correctly, his dad owned a sushi place. And, well, literally, he has worked his entire life just so that he could own this sushi place. Mm. And he's considered one of, like, the top sushi chefs in Japan. He, like, this place he owns is this little place, super small, but it's always booked. And it's pretty expensive to eat there because he's considered, like, so good at what he does. So it's kind of a cool look at, like, through hard work and determination, this guy has achieved what he's wanted to.
That's
like
awesome.
From the very beginning.
That's almost like, instead of it being like an informative one, it's like this is a storytelling documentary. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. Almost like nonfiction. Yeah,
kind of. But yeah, it's really cool. So
are those available on Netflix?
Jiro Dreams of Sushi is, I think it was when I last checked.
Okay. And
I Know That Voice, I'm pretty sure you can find it online.
Okay, cool.
but I think it was on Netflix at one point too.
Awesome.
So,
and I'm just asking for our viewers
Right,
at home
right.
and myself.
I may have watched. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched. I Know That Voice online somewhere, but I can't remember where. But super good. Highly recommend both of those.
Okay, I thought of another, so I've got two.
Go ahead.
Super Size Me.
Right, the
The
classic.
McDonald's one. It's probably the first one that I watched or that I can remember.
We watched it
at
at school,
least.
actually.
Yeah.
We watched it in health class
Oh
with
yeah,
Mr. Miller.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And then very recent, OJ Made in America. That's probably my top. It's a 30 for 30, and all the 30 for most of the 30 for 30s are really good. Not all of them, but most of them. But the OJ one, it's like long. I'm pretty sure it was like 5 parts, and like some were 2 hours, and some. But it's so good. Like it's super informative, and like you get every angle of every side of yada yada. Super good.
The two there's one I'm going to mention that I have not actually seen, but I think it deserves mention. It's called The Act of Killing. It is
Yeah,
about.
I've heard of that one.
It's won a lot of awards, and I've tried to go out of my way to watch it many times, and I just haven't been able to get to it. It is a movie about a genocide, and it's basically filming a film about the genocide where it's the film inside the film is being directed by the people who committed the genocide. So, very interesting. Yeah, an interesting take on it. That's on all streaming media, if I remember correctly. My other two are actually, they are...
You're so loud chewing.
30 for 30s.
both 30 for 30s. The one that I'm not going to select is the Fab Five. So good. It's about the Michigan Wolverines team that was all freshmen. Their starting five was freshmen. Very iconic. They went to 2 national championships and didn't win either of them. And then
No, they only went to the Final Four the one year.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. And then all their wins were stripped because of recruiting.
They had one of the most infamous, final minutes ever because Chris Webber called a timeout when he didn't have a timeout. So that's an automatic technical foul back then.
And
They lost in the championship game because of that. But in hindsight, it wouldn't have mattered because they cheated to get Chris Webber, so they would have lost the title anyway.
Right. So it's interesting to see all their perspectives except Chris Webber. He did not speak in that movie.
I'm not sure he was allowed to speak on it yet.
He might not have, but he was also silent about the entire Fab Five, and still is not in good relations with
He's
Jalen.
a terrible analyst.
Besides the point, my number one is actually interesting because of the context of when I watched it. I was in folklore class, and I remember I had just finished the class, watched the film, and it was You Don't Know Bo. It was the Bo Jackson film, and Bo Jackson was the best and probably the last great dual athlete, where he played football and baseball. Besides, at the same time, bud, he played them at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so he played football,
Shaq.
or he would play baseball. The last one would
Did
have
you
been,
see the Shaq LeVar Ball diss track?
no.
Oh, but you knew it.
The
It's actually good.
The last great would have been prime time. He played baseball and football, but Bo was a baseball player first, and then went to be drafted by the Raiders. And he would play a full season of baseball, and then the Raiders let him come in to play later on. And the stories that they told was folklore-esque. They would talk about he threw up. He got his name Bo from he would throw pebbles. He would kill pigs with them.
Oh.
He jumped over like a 50-foot water, gap of water. He did a backflip while in waist-deep water. And these are all the reason why I thought of it as folklore is because it was he said I didn't see it, but I heard someone who heard someone say it.
Right.
And so they would they would say that he kickers would have a hard time kicking a football up and hit this scoreboard, and he threw a football and hit it. So it was very much folklore-esque.
Right.
And it was just so cool. All the scenes where they had the folklore stuff, it was in hand-drawn stuff, so sketch artist stuff.
That's cool.
So it's very unique. I think it's it's probably my favorite documentary. And his story is so tragic because he would have been, I think he could have been a Hall of Famer in both sports had he have not blown out his leg. So.
Oh, I want to mention another one real quick.
Go ahead.
I just thought of it, and I haven't seen it completely, but it's Exit Through the Gift Shop, and it's about the street artist Banksy, which I feel like if you saw one of his works, you would probably know him.
Is he
He
the...
does the stencil art, like, on the streets. So there's one of them, and it's like the protester who's rearing back to throw, like, a Molotov cocktail, and it's got the bouquet of flowers instead.
I would probably know that. You said that and I thought it was Basquiat.
Oh, no.
That's who I initially thought of.
But he's a pretty prevalent, like, I think he's England, maybe?
Okay.
But he's a pretty prevalent street artist. A lot of people have at least seen his stuff. They might not know that that's from him, but a lot of people have seen his stuff because he has all kinds of different street art. But it's just kind of an insight as to who he is.
And I think...
excuse me.
I'm glad that we've had this genre come up because I think it hits so many... It is the...
Like, it's probably my least watched genre.
Yes, but it hits so many different places. If we had like Avery on, Avery's watched so many documentaries and can tell you handfuls upon handfuls. And even with our, we had 3. We both had 3, and you had 2, right? I mean, even with our 8, we had so many different topics. Even though some of them were sports, they all hit different topics. So hit us with the wheel, Shane.
Oh God!
Here we go. He's hoping
And
for.
I'm down to my last wheel song. I can't think of any more.
I figured you were probably burning out on them.
But I may be able to get one. Wheels on the bus. Round, round and round. Give me Christmas. No! Oh!
Bitter choice!
Christmas.
Bitter choice. We go back to Christmas.
You're so happy about it.
And I'm ready.
Caleb, you should know what my Christmas one is. I'll leave that back on the table.
I still don't.
Shane,
think I know.
go ahead.
Okay, let's just get it rolling. I'm just gonna be throwing them out.
Hey, not too many because we said there was
Like
5.
this many.
Give us
Okay,
some.
I'll start off with some animation. The original Rudolph, the claymation one, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's a classic. That's a staple. If you don't like that movie, you're un-American. Even though it was made by the Japanese. Anyway, Frosty the Snowman, the original, another classic. There's so many good Christmas movies. Jingle All the Way. I know Caleb talked about that earlier. So good.
No.
But if you watched it with me, you would.
I've watched it with you.
Again, you would understand.
Remember we
because I
watched it-
think that we've evolved in humor.
No, you've gotten worse.
Definitely not.
You know he's gotten worse.
Jamie, give me the dog, kid.
He knows my name.
He knows my name.
Where he's
It's just right under the Christmas tree.
He's going in a circle like that. It's not like how
Nestled
Lord-
safely under our tree. Nestled safely under our tree. These cookies. Those are my cookies.
Jeez.
Anyway, I can go
Shut him down.
on and on and on about Jingle All the Way. But that's not even close to being my favorite because you got Home Alone 1. Great. But I'm not going to talk about that one because Home Alone 2 is so much better.
Make my list.
It's so good. There's just the gag scenes are hilarious. The story is actually good. It's got the cool cinematography on like the Trade Center and all New York City, and it's super.
It's got a president in it.
It's got Donald Trump in it. Down the hall to the left. But yeah, that's a great one. Okay, non-comedy, Christmas Carol with George C. Scott.
Fred Claus?
That is a comedy, and that is a terrible movie.
It's a Christmas movie, though!
Terrible movie.
Fred Claus!
George C. Scott, Christmas Carol. It's the original story. The ghost of
past, future, present, all that yada yada. It's a real good one. Okay, and then do you want me to save my final two?
Yes.
Okay, because I got two that are tied at the top, but
I know one of them.
Then you have to make a definitive choice on it.
oh, that's easy.
Okay.
I know.
I have 4 that I'll mention before I mention my best. The animated Grinch is phenomenal.
Like the
original one.
no, that's a good one. That's a great one.
Not the live action one.
Not the Jim Carrey one. That is garbage.
And
Garbage. Oh, I forgot. What's that one movie? The Train.
Polar Express.
That's a good one. That's not in my
with
top.
Tom Hanks.
That's a good one though.
another one that
He
Tom
doesn't
Hanks
make bad movies.
Nightmare Before Christmas has to be mentioned. It's so good. Home Alone 2.
Harry, I reached the top. What a hole.
Elf.
Oh, I didn't think of that, but that is a good one.
Yeah.
That's not my. That would not be my.
I hate that movie.
No! So good!
I despise that movie so much.
What? No! Put that down. No violence on my show.
How could you hate that movie?
I can't stand it. I don't know. I don't like it.
We'll let it slide.
I think
I can't let it slide.
We let it slide that you like Titanic.
Titanic's a great movie.
I think it's along the same vein of me not liking it, just like I don't like Forrest Gump.
We haven't. Yeah. What topic does because I need to talk about Forrest Gump and another movie, but like, they don't fall in topics because they're everything.
Well, that would have been trauma.
But it is a drama, comedy, adventure, action, war. It's everything.
These are for you to make the distinction.
Well, I'll just throw it in at the end if we don't get it.
Okay. Did you get your ones though?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Oh wait, were you?
Oh no, I got mine.
Okay.
Elf was the last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christmas movies.
Bad bud.
So
Bad bud.
I'm honestly not a big fan of Christmas in general. I know.
Bud.
I'm a horrible person.
I am
Scrooge.
I am
I
a
am.
Hey,
Duck.
that to say I am a Scrooge until it becomes time for Christmas.
Scrooge
Like I don't
McDuck.
think this would be a good time to watch a Christmas movie
No.
at all.
No.
Well, we should just go watch Jingle All the Way and see for ourselves.
I have it on VHS upstairs.
I have it on DVD at home.
That's gonna be the rest of the show, just us watching Jingle All the Way.
2 copies. We'll try to sync them up.
Oh gosh.
Go ahead,
But yeah,
Caleb.
I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan of it. I like around Christmas time. I warm up to it a little bit more, and I don't know. I just
Let him slide, bud. We don't judge you for bad taste.
Yeah, you did. You said I'm dumb for liking Titanic.
And the McRib.
I do have Christmas movies that I like though.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Nightmare Before Christmas is also on my list, as well as Jingle All the Way.
Okay, good.
Does that
I-
forgiven?
That's redeeming.
I have to mention A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't really like the movie. There's bits and pieces of it that I like.
We just need to watch together.
I didn't say that about every movie. We just need to watch it together.
But
How
I've
about
seen-
Titanic?
It's true.
I think it's probably the one movie I've seen the most. Like any movie.
They do show a 24-hour.
I know. And my family
Every-
every time we have Christmas, my family turns
on
it
2 different channels, I will mention.
Oh,
TNT
good.
and TBS.
It is funny though.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great.
I mean,
it's one of my tops.
it
so
has
I,
fun
won't, I guess I'll
moments,
just go to my immediate top.
But yeah, I mean, I know what your top is because I'm pretty sure it's my
easy.
top as well.
So are we ready for tops?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked me what my top is.
Fine. What's your top, Shane?
Top Shane.
You serious, Clark?
And then there it
It's
is.
got to be Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
Hands
It's mine
down.
too, so.
Like Chevy Chase, Randy Quaid. It's all so good. Like there's 2 from start to finish. It's hilarious. It's just everything. It's everything I want in a Christmas film. It's got cutting down Christmas trees. It's got putting up Christmas lights. It's got Christmas shopping. It's got humor all throughout. It's got Chevy Chase. It's all just fantastic.
Don't show me your list, bud. We've told you this.
I think I've already went over most of these.
There's some. Did not make my list.
Ooh.
Bad bud. Bad bud.
Caleb, you got any ideas?
I'm really racking my brain. I'm sure it's something.
My
Something
number
I know.
one
Is it the Santa Claus with Tim Allen?
It is not.
Wait. Is it a well-known movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well known.
You're gonna be one of those people. You're gonna be one of those stupid people that say
It's Die Hard!
It's not. It's not Die Hard. Die Hard's not a Christmas movie.
Die Hard, number one.
It's an action movie.
I consider it a Christmas movie.
No,
Thank you!
It's
2-1!
It's not.
It is a Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It is set on Christmas.
It's set on
Go
Christmas.
to the
but
West Coast.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It's got Christmas lights. It's gotta be a Christmas
It's
movie.
not.
The soundtrack is Christmas music.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It's got Christmas presents.
Bad.
It's got everything.
Bad.
It's set at a.
It has Christmas presents and the presents of Christmas.
And it's got
It's a great movie, and it's in my action category, but it's not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie. It's not ever be my number one Christmas movie. If you know me, my girlfriend got it for me for Christmas one year, so I have it so I can watch it every Christmas. It is the best Christmas movie. Period. End of story.
I didn't know you were that heated about Die Hard.
Big money. Big money.
Christmas movies again.
We almost got
You're
it.
big.
Ooh.
But pick something stupid. Good.
Non-Disney animation.
We know what Shane's is.
No, I remember.
Oh, you
I knew
actually-
one. Yeah,
you
no, I
actually
remember.
remember.
One.
This is a category I'm very adamant about. I think
I was really excited for this one too.
I'll go through.
I'm sure once you guys say, I'll be like, oh yeah.
I have 5.
Probably.
I think then these are all done by different studios, except all 6 of mine are done by different studios. These are not in any particular order, but I will just go ahead and just list them. The Lego Movie, which is phenomenal, great cast, great animation. Oh my gosh, the animation! I went and saw that by myself, and it was great. Fantastic Mr. Fox, another Wes Anderson
yeah.
movie. Iron Giant.
Oh yeah.
I figured
yeah,
that would
that's
be
a
on
good
your
one.
list. I'm actually surprised that's not your top.
That's a great one.
You'll see the top one in a minute. Book of Life. It is the Day of the Dead film.
I never watched it.
I haven't
I
seen
want to
it.
watch it.
I have it if
It's
you want to borrow it
got
sometime.
it's got a good cast. The animation looks super good. It's vibrant.
Music is good. It's awesome. And one that we saw the sequel to together in theaters. Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, yeah, that
Kung
is
Fu Panda
that is a good one.
so good. The original is amazing. I hear the third one is good too. I haven't seen it. The second one was good as well.
Yeah, we haven't seen the third one.
Action galore. It's got a
You
great
haven't.
cast.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I've watched it.
I didn't.
It's okay.
It's got Jackie Chan. It's got Jack Black.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Yeah, he does play the Mantis. And then Angelina Jolie.
Seth Rogen.
Lucy Liu.
Who plays the Master Shifu?
Will Ferrell.
He's in No.
Gosh,
He's in No Name as well.
Yeah, it's Will Ferrell.
it's not
It's
Will
not
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
And still.
Are we talking for Kung Fu Panda 1 or Kung Fu Panda 2? Just like in general, the movie that you're discussing.
Just Kung Fu Panda 1.
Okay,
That's gonna.
because
be
I was gonna
first.
say, super great villain. Like that villain.
Dustin Hoffman
Ah, yeah.
plays
Not a no
Master
name.
Shifu.
At all.
No.
That's like a huge actor.
So those are my 5, and my
I forgot
6
about
will
Rain
be
Man.
later.
What?
Rain Man.
Oh.
That would have been. I would have said that's a drama.
Yeah, I'll have to make
Go ahead,
up
Caleb.
Categories.
So I also had Iron Giant and Kung Fu Panda on my list.
I'm glad we got crossover there.
I want to put Coraline,
Yes,
and I also want to put Kubo and the Two Strings on that list.
I've not seen that one.
Both from the same studio.
Okay, and they also did Corpse Bride, correct?
No. They also did.
Tim Burton did Corpse Bride, though.
Yeah, and we watched half of that in Spanish before we realized that we weren't.
I'll
watching
never
it in
forget
English.
that.
It was like really late, and we had the sound down, so we just kind of went
Corpse
with it.
Bride?
Yeah, Corpse Bride.
That's so funny.
I really don't know how we did that.
And someone was like, "Is this in Spanish?" Like 30 minutes into the movie.
No, they also did the Box Trolls.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was one other that I was going to put on my list. I didn't put it on, and I completely forgot about it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was a DreamWorks. How to Train Your Dragon.
Very good. Yeah, I like that.
Both 1 and 2. I think 2 is better.
Oh,
So
okay.
just
I
think
haven't
it-
seen the second, but I do like the first.
I like how it's an animated movie that's like, oh, okay, this is for kids, obviously, but it's actually like kind of dark,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like it's serious. It's a serious movie with some obvious like comedic things in it. But
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'll mention it in my next one, or in my like best one, but because it will kind of ruin if I mention it now. Go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, Iron Giant and Kung Fu Panda are both great, so I didn't think of those, but I would definitely agree with those. The Shrek trilogy.
I can't stand.
oh
the third
man,
one.
you're doing the trilogy.
Yeah, the whole trilogy.
The third one's
it's
awful.
all
It's
it's
so
all
bad.
good.
The third one's
It's
terrible.
all good.
But
no,
you're-
but the third one is easily the worst. The
There's
first,
a fourth one too, and a fifth.
but those aren't like
There might be a sixth.
yeah, but some of those after are not like.
It's got
Okay, well then I'll just say the first two because
Yeah, the first two are good.
The first two are great.
with the muffin, the Muffin Man and the giant and Gingy.
And then I'm just gonna say my favorite, since then we'll wrap around and we don't have to come back to me because
Yeah.
I don't have many.
Okay.
The SpongeBob SquarePants. The
Oh,
first
yeah.
movie. That's hilarious.
That's so good.
Like,
That would have made my list.
Ketchup mustard.
that's not a mustache. This is a mustache. Grows it out.
And riding on David
Change my
Hasselhoff.
underwear.
Now that we're men.
I got a manly stare. Get the crown. Save the
Oh
town,
my
Mr.
Lord.
Krabs.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
So good. Did you see my underwear? No, Patrick. Would you like to?
Yeah,
And then
that's-
shed the pectoral muscles. with
Where he
the
shoots
grab.
him.
Oh my god.
Hasselhoff shoots him.
And what's the name of the city that they're trying to go to?
Shell City.
Shell City. And then they get there
It's a
and Patrick's like, Shell City. And he's like, I know, buddy. We'll never get there. Shell City. I know. I just said Shell City. Okay, now you're really just starting to depress me. Oh, look. Shell City.
And then they have when the sprinklers go off and the mariachi band starts playing.
Oh my god. So, and the bar scene where they're trying to figure out who blew the bubble.
No one can resist this song.
Oh, and then the end where he flies up and does the Goofy Goober Rock song. Just that's all over. That's a clutch movie.
My one I'm going to mention before my best one is not my second best. It just deserves mention. It's done by the same studio. It's Porco Rosso. Michael Keaton plays he is a pig, or he is a human that was turned into a pig. World War I film set in the Mediterranean. Very awesome, like plane film. Number one is Spirited Away. It had to be. It's that good of a film. I saw it in English and Japanese. We saw it in theaters in Japanese. It's phenomenal. It's got so much. It's very much like a modern Japanese take of Alice in Wonderland. It's got an iconic character, No Face. It's got the toads and the bathhouse and the coal guy and the little like ash people and the little like the tiny ones that get crushed by rocks. It's so good. It's got great animation. Studio Ghibli has not done many bad films.
Ghibli?
They've done. I mean, I also could have put My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro is so good. It's like the quintessential like this is a cute film. Like if you want something and you're just like I don't want a plot. I just want something that's cute. It's got Cat Bus. It has a character that is part cat, part bus.
That's so good.
And it runs around and you get inside it and you ride it like a bus.
Oh yeah, the Rugrats movies. Those are also good. Like the first one.
Yeah. No, I'm not a huge fan of them anymore. I liked them whenever I was younger, but I'm not a huge
And the Hey
Rugrats fan.
Arnold movie. That's really good. Actually, a lot of those Nickelodeon movies.
Hey Arnold, there is a new Hey Arnold movie
Yeah.
coming out.
And
But yeah,
Rocko's Modern Life.
but Spirited Away, hands down. I think it's just as good, if not better, than most Disney films. Granted, it was brought to the States by Disney, but that's besides the point. They didn't have a hand in the film.
Right.
So
It's funny that you should mention that because I just watched that and I would already go ahead and say it was on my top.
thank you. I'm glad. What's your?
Like I know there's the whole, like everybody knows about Miyazaki movies,
Miyazaki movies are astounding.
They're considered like some of the best animated movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I had only watched one. The only one that I had watched was Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh yeah, okay.
which I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I actually dropped a good chunk of money. There was a sale on Amazon of the DVD and Blu-ray combos for like all of those movies. So I actually just went and bought like a bunch of them. So I watched Spirited Away, and I really I was blown away with it. Frankly, like the animation was so good.
And some of the stuff like the pigs when her parents become pigs, they just look like a 1-to-1 like what pigs would look like in animation compared.
Well, like when it comes to like hand drawn animated things, I know that like a lot of times, like the artists will kind of, I don't want to say skimp out because that's not what they're doing, but they'll simplify things to make it easier to draw and to put more stuff in it.
They don't.
And there's nothing in this. Like nothing is simplified.
Have you seen a Miyazaki film?
Detailed.
I've seen Spirited Away.
Oh, okay.
It's so good.
It's super detailed. Like the animation is all fluid.
Love the characters.
The color schemes, even just the colors, everything's vibrant. Like it's pleasing to the eye, and I think that's a good. That's a really good.
Oh, when the baby gets turned into the what's he get turned into?
The mouse.
The mouse. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so funny.
And it's just
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is amazing too.
Yeah.
Was that your choice though?
Yeah,
Okay.
Definitely.
What other Miyazaki films have you watched?
I haven't watched all the ones that I got yet, but I've got Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, which
I've got My Neighbor.
Yeah.
What else do I have? Howl's Moving Castle.
Yep. Does that have Fireflies? The Graveyard of the Fireflies or whatever that is?
No.
Because he has 3 or 4 war films.
Right.
Porco Rosso being one of them. I don't know if he did Porco Rosso. There's also Whisper of the Heart, which is done by Studio Ghibli, and The Cat Returns, which actually has who plays Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Mm-hmm. She's the main character. And it also has Frank from Everybody Loves Raymond. So, interesting.
But yeah, I'm really excited to sit down and actually just like watch through these.
They're
because
phenomenal. They're so good.
I mean, like I said, I had watched Kiki's Delivery Service and it was really good. I really enjoyed the movie. But Spirited Away was just like, and of course I've heard every Tom, Dick, and Sally say Spirited Away is like, it's this amazing movie. And it wasn't until I actually sat down and watched it that I was like, yeah, no, I mean, any expectations I had, it completely stood up with those.
It did.
So
I totally agree.
But
we'll probably do one more category.
okay.
We've got...
What turn is it?
It's Caleb's. Caleb will be the beginning and end. We have mystery, fantasy, war, sports, thriller, superhero, and action left.
Some interesting choices here left.
Oh, got a Caleb choice to end it.
Oh man, what am I gonna choose?
Come on over and you can X out the one you want. Oh,
Christmas.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose Christmas again.
let's just calm it down. The Christmas movies.
Let me check my list real quick to see which ones.
Shane, if you had the choice right now, which one do you think you'd pick? What's left?
Probably either. Definitely not thriller or mystery. Any of the others are good.
I'm gonna do action
Okay.
because it's a nice broad topic. There's gonna be a lot of.
I'm gonna.
There's gonna be a lot of
movies
variety.
that I
think.
forgot
Yeah.
in this because they all have action in them.
Woo.
Awesome. All right.
There you go. I was thinking about doing superhero movies.
Yeah, that's.
But
what I
everybody
was
knows superhero movies.
Interesting enough,
And
I
everybody
did not.
knows Everybody knows what my
I did
favorite
not.
superhero movie would be.
I only picked one Marvel film for my superheroes films.
Interesting. Which one?
Iron Man 1.
Good one.
That was the only one I picked. I'm interested. What would have been your number one? You think
My number one?
of superhero films?
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Mine be The Dark Knight.
Mine didn't make mine, or that didn't make mine, but it would either been The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Returns, the animated one, or Logan.
Logan was so good.
So good.
Have you watched that yet?
It's like
They say
It's-
it may get nominated for an Oscar though.
It deserves it.
And
yeah, because it doesn't
Warner
feel like a
Bros.
super
is trying
it
to
doesn't.
push Wonder Woman to get nominated.
Wonder Woman was really good too.
I haven't seen either of them yet.
I haven't seen Wonder
Or
Woman.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. It's on Netflix now. Well, you
I
guys.
don't have Netflix.
Yeah, because you guys can't stream.
I got Garbo Net.
Action films. Caleb, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So, action films that I have.
It's a very broad
I'm
topic.
just gonna list
Yes,
the
it
three that I definitely wanted to talk about, and they all have action.
I've got
Not
Aliens,
technically action.
the
Aliens.
sequel.
Yes, because I would consider that an action. compared to-
Definitely, I would consider that action. Just another solid classic movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Mhm.
Let's face it. There are no bad Indiana Jones movies because there's only
The
3
last
of
one
them.
is
Yeah,
bad,
the
and
fourth one
Indiana
isn't a
Jones.
There's
real one.
only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
That one's about like a refrigerator mechanic. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think like Indiana Jones turns into a refrigerator,
Well, he survives a nuclear bomb
Yeah.
from a refrigerator. That's why I referenced
and
that.
then like he turns into Shia LaBeouf.
Pretty much.
Shia LaBeouf was actually. I have a Shia LaBeouf movie.
He got arrested recently.
Unnamed or a category we didn't do.
Really?
Is it
Thriller.
Disturbia?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
It's not holes.
I do like Holes.
Transformers. I like the first Transformers, if I'm being honest.
First one was
It
okay.
was okay. Yeah, it was just like
I can't stand the other ones though.
Well, the
It's
other
also
ones are
bad.
just garbage.
Also bad. Anyways, Dread, and I'm not talking about the Sylvester Stallone movie. I'm talking about the
Hey.
one with Carl Urban.
the new one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
that was 2011.
2011, 2012. I can't
Yeah, I think
remember
2012.
exactly. I think
That's the one
right.
that's set in like the apartment complex,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Really good. I really enjoy that movie. And then I'm gonna save my last one. I'm sure I can figure. I'm sure there's others that I could think of, but off the
You
top
go
of my
next
head,
because
I
I'm
can't.
just gonna do all mine at once.
Okay.
So we just loop around perfectly.
Okay. This one was tough. One of mine that I'm going to mention now was actually one of my favorite films of all time. At one point.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing here because I forgot
And
movies.
it was.
I
It's.
forgot movies.
It would also be considered a sci-fi film. It's The Matrix. Other ones I would mention are Terminator 2.
Mhm.
I think that's an amazing film.
It's a shame that the Terminator series isn't as good as the first two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
300. That is done by. Who does this?
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller. Or no, he does the comics.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, yeah. Braveheart. Got to be mentioned. It could have also been classified as war.
Yeah, but yeah.
And
Both those.
True.
I would also do Gladiator.
Gladiator is such a
Gladiator is a
good.
super good movie.
You know, I've actually never seen it like without commercials because I always watch it on
On
TNT.
TV.
Oh.
It's always on TNT.
It
Always.
is always
true.
on. It's on like every week.
Shane, knock yours out.
All these movies have action in them,
We'll save Caleb for last because
but I forgot to mention some movies. Okay, so Forrest Gump. I need to get that in there, and that's got action because all the war scenes. That's
that was my pick for war movie.
that's war and action.
Even though you
Caleb
probably-
hates
I-
it.
Even though you probably would
hate
have,
Forrest
I'm guessing you would have picked Saving Private Ryan. For
Saving
war film.
Private Ryan was on my list, but
It would have been Dunkirk.
I haven't
We
seen
haven't seen
Dunkirk
I
yet.
haven't either.
I really want to. One of my coworkers went
Glory
and saw
Road,
it.
super good war movie.
I was going to pick
No.
Fly Boys.
I've got Inglorious Bastards as
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite war movie.
And what's
Fly Boys.
Fly Boys? What's the
Gosh,
one with?
I make reference to Fly Boys all the time.
You're a hater.
I hope you're happy
That's a
with
really
that.
good
Oh yeah,
That
Okay,
was
but
on-
it's
anyway.
like Braveheart, but it's in the Revolutionary
But
War.
anyway, yeah, Forrest Gump. That's just a classic in every the soundtrack, the journey. It's all there. That's a great movie.
I can agree.
now going more action, but it's action, sci-fi, horror, all that stuff. And you already know what's one of my favorite movies, The Devil's Advocate. Like easily Keanu Reeves at his peak.
It's odd. It's an odd film.
Yeah, it really is, but it's super.
Have you
good.
seen it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's.
And actually, now come to think of it, Point Break, that's an action movie. That's another great movie, and another Keanu Reeves
Oh, the one
movie.
from like
No, the Keanu Reeves one.
How did we not go without mention a what's his name? I can't even think of his name. The
Keanu Reeves?
no, the African American actor who's always does great stuff, and he's like Avery's favorite actor. He was
Oh, Denzel Washington.
Denzel.
Well, I just said Glory Road.
Oh yeah.
Or Glory, or whatever.
Glory,
Glory.
yeah.
Is that
not
the
Glory
is that the
Road.
one
It's
that's
the Civil War one.
the Civil War
Gosh,
about the
we've seen that movie
African
so many
American
times.
platoon?
Well, it's got Matthew Broderick.
I'm trying to think. There's also one that he's in with Morgan Freeman as well, where they
That's it.
yeah. It's about the African American.
so many times in Mr. Haven's class.
Oh yeah, he makes watch it like 3 times. Oh yeah, you were in it.
And I think also you have to mention
yeah.
American Gangster would have been one of my drama films. I forgot to
yeah.
mention.
Now that we brought up Denzel Washington, there's a lot. So I'm just gonna name some real quick. Training Day, that's a fantastic movie, and that's I don't know what I guess that's just drama.
That would also be
drama, crime, yeah. But that's a great movie. Falling Down, or maybe it's Falling. There's 2 different movies, but it's the one with Denzel and John Goodman.
Stand
and-
Tall?
No, that's The Rock and Sean William Scott, or is that Walking Tall? There's 2 different. Anyway, it's Denzel and John Goodman and this killer. He dies on like via injection, like he's on death row, but his spirit it's basically like a demon, and it keeps going into like different bodies. So it's like a crime, drama, mystery. It's everything. That's one of my top 10 like favorite movies, hands down.
Right.
But the one that I forgot, and it's for sure in the top 5. I don't know if it's hard to
This
say.
is your pick?
This is my pick. It's sort of action, but it's it's probably drama, black comedy. I mean, that's probably what you would call
Oh,
it.
I know what
But
you're
Pulp
thinking.
Fiction,
Yeah.
like 100%. Everything
Fiction-
about that movie.
Pulp Fiction would have been my black comedy
And you
choice
can
if that was
talk
a category.
about, like, there's so many different plot points that you can talk about on and on and
So
on.
good.
The acting is great, the writing's great, it's funny, it's cool, it's everything. And so many people.
Unconventional as well.
Yeah, but since it happened, so many people have tried to, like, do something in the vein of it, and it doesn't ever live up to what Pulp Fiction was. Pulp Fiction is just
That's a good choice.
hands down. It's a top 5 for sure, and it's action. And Christopher Walken, his scene where he's talking about the medal,
So creepy.
or the watch,
It's so weird.
so good.
You know where I put this?
So good.
I'll go ahead and say my choice because it was already mentioned earlier in another category. My number 1 is Inception. I think it can definitely fit in the action.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Granted, while all of
In
the
the
action,
room.
all of the action is done while they're sleeping. The setup to it. I mean, you have the chase scene where he's running from him while he's out of country. You have the hotel scene. You have characters with different abilities. I think that alone, with like Tom Hardy's character where he's the shapeshifter. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was he the architect? Or no, that was
Ellen Page was
Ellen
the
Page was the
architect.
architect.
I don't know what he was.
I can't remember his exact role.
Yeah.
He was just,
The
he was
chaos,
just like a cool guy.
the chaos,
Cool dude.
the chaos of the trains and the his deceased wife.
George Lopez.
The van scenes. They had the
Every
car
time
chase.
it slowly was going down.
We laughed so
Every time
hard.
in the theater, when it zoomed back to that, we cracked up.
George
Lopez.
And
No,
it-
it's not.
And it would like come to the arc of it was so cool because you had all these like different like time lapses that were happening simultaneous. But one was like in super slow mo, and then you had one that was like normal speed, and then you had the scene where he sees his father, and that's in like a somber tone. But then you still have like the van that's falling. It's so good. It's maybe my favorite Nolan film, my mystery choice would have been up there as well. The Dark Knight is the superhero choice for Nolan. That's the action film, and then the Prestige.
So we want to go over just our favorites from the categories we didn't do.
We can in a second, but let's. But I think the Prestige is also like that was my mystery
That's a
choice.
great movie.
So my favorite for action, it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I have more of a definitive one of the two, but I got to mention Jurassic Park.
That is a good one.
And let's face it,
It's a classic, too.
Yeah, it really is. It's
Yeah,
one of
and the sequels.
no,
Lost World, baby.
no,
Oh, the newest one.
no.
You're not a fan of
The
Jurassic
only
World?
the only good thing about Jurassic World is Jimmy Buffett running away with the
Oh my
margaritas.
god, I forgot that happened.
I own it. I own the movie.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
didn't know you bought it.
I didn't buy it.
Oh, so Dan likes it?
No, Mom got it for me for Christmas.
Okay.
So
Does Dan like
so
it?
I own it. I don't know. I actually don't know if he's ever seen it.
Dude, let's call him.
I'm not gonna call him right now,
But
but
phone him in. We're here
Hey.
speaking with a special guest.
Dan Hammondtree. What's going on, Dan? Hey guys, you playing WoW?
No, dude, well sucks.
Asking for slaughter on this show.
Coleslaw?
Go ahead, Caleb.
I like
so
coleslaw.
my favorite. I love the Mad Max movies,
It's gonna be Fury Road.
so it's gonna be Fury
That
Road.
was so good. God.
I just remember us going to see that, and on the car ride home, the entire ride home, we just talked about how good it was,
So
how
good,
good the
so
action,
good.
how good
Tom
it-
Hardy.
yeah, how good Tom Hardy was, how good Charlize Theron was, how it was like an inclusive sort of movie. It wasn't just like, muscle dudes shooting people,
Right.
blowing stuff up. Like there were different aspects all thrown together in it. And one of the things that I think I liked the most about it was the I'm trying to think of what the word of it is, but like the color schemes used throughout the movie. I like how they used the blue and like the sort of like
Tan.
sandy
Yeah.
tan orange all throughout the movie. There were I mean obviously there were a couple
helps to
scenes.
create the tone.
Yeah, it did, because those were really bright. They were like, it felt energized, and I think, I mean, obviously in an action movie you want to have a lot of energy, so,
Sure, so.
but
That was such a good one.
Real quick, just for the sake of time, we've been going for quite a while. We're almost maybe the longest episode of the show.
Oh, good.
We'll go through and we'll just say one iconic film for each of the last topics.
All
Starting with fantasy, just knock one out. We're not going to go into depth. We're
Since
just
we
going to
already
say
talked
it.
about Star Wars, I'll say Lord of the Rings. Return of the King is my favorite.
I would say
but the
Return
whole
of the King.
trilogy is
Return of
really
the King.
good.
That was
Return
the
of the
one I
King's
thought was
easily
going to be a
the
unanimous choice.
yeah,
War,
best. Forrest Gump,
Forrest Gump.
Inglourious Bastards.
Okay. Sports,
Friday Night Lights.
I've got Caddyshack.
that's a good choice.
God, I forgot about that.
The original Rocky. I also had Happy Gilmore on the choice. That was the
Yeah,
third one was Longest Yard.
Oh God, I forgot they did that.
Yeah, with
remake
Nelly.
with Burt Reynolds and Nelly and all that. Oh, that was terrible.
My dad loves that movie, so I had to mention it.
The
Thriller,
original or the new one?
the new one.
Oh God.
Thriller.
I don't know.
No Country for Old Men.
7.
Oh yeah. Both of those are great. Yeah. I'll just pick between those two. No Country for Old Men. I don't know how
Yeah,
I
Seven's
didn't get
my
around to
favorite.
mentioning
Seven's
that.
my favorite film.
Because No Country for
Seven's
Old Men is
actually
one of
my favorite mystery.
Oh,
So
superhero.
Dark Knight.
Mine was I mentioned mine between the Dark Knight, Logan, and Dark Knight Returns. I also like Mask of the Phantasm.
Dark Knight, and then I'll pick a Marvel. Probably
Mine would be Iron Man 1. We went and saw a Marvel film together,
with Mark.
and we saw the Avengers 1. We saw Hank Whedon there.
I would probably pick the first Guardians is my favorite still, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a while since some of these newest ones have came out.
they've honestly been pretty.
They've been
Pretty
really good.
good.
Homecoming was fantastic. It's not my top, but it's my favorite Spider-Man movie.
And finally, Mystery was 7.
Yeah, mine was 7.
I'm gonna say Get Out.
I was surprised that wasn't either of your guys' thrillers. I knew that was on your list.
Yeah, I didn't really know.
Yeah, that was under my thriller.
That would be
category.
Okay.
Mine was The Prestige, followed closely by Watchmen.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Also, Gone Girl was on that list as well.
I also had
Gone
Gone
Girl's
Girl
really
on my
good.
list. I also had
Patrick
Shutter
Harris.
Island and The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Shutter
Both of
Island
those.
is definitely would be a mystery.
Yeah,
So
that's more Leo.
Yeah,
great
there's
choices.
a lot of Leonardo
Leo's
DiCaprio.
just great.
We
We
didn't
went
mention The Revenant.
And we also didn't mention Gangs of New York. Or Catch Me
No.
If You Can.
He definitely. You mentioned Gangs.
No.
No, I
Did
didn't.
you not?
No, we
No.
didn't.
Oh, okay.
Gangs of New York, Catch Me If You Can. We didn't mention
Uh-huh.
either of those.
We mentioned What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
We
though.
did mention
yeah,
That's an
yeah,
important one.
very briefly.
So,
And
I think
Titanic.
we all had a pretty varied choices. I don't think we had very many that were crossovers on our tops, especially especially for Shane, who came unprepped.
Hey, I did better than I thought I would.
Yeah, you had some help though. You had two actually prepared guys. You were the guy who was like, yeah, those. And we
I'm
were-
gonna piggyback off the Shine.
Have to.
Yeah.
Well, I just totally forgot about that
I
movie.
don't know how you can forget that movie.
I haven't seen it in a while. It's
Doesn't
been
matter.
a couple
It's such a
years.
good movie.
It is.
Um,
It is such a good
I'm
movie.
gonna go home and watch it.
Real quick,
Maybe. I don't
what
know.
is we'll go ahead and our last thing that we'll quickly say. What is the movie you're most looking forward to this that hasn't came out yet?
Oof. That's hard. That's tough.
Dunkirk's already out, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That would have been my choice.
Yeah, that would have been my choice. Mine's gonna be Thor Ragnarok. I think
It
Ragnarok.
has to be this year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Then probably that
honestly.
too. Yeah, that or
It.
or maybe Justice League, just because I want it to be good, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably be good, but not what we want it to be.
Yeah.
Good.
It'll be like 60%.
Yeah, it'll be like
It'll be like a solid pass.
it'll be like
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's cool.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I like Cyborg.
Yeah. The Flash.
Flash is funny.
Flash is fast.
I feel like if anybody's going to be like a pretty good highlight of the movie, it's going to be him, the Flash. Just as like the comedic.
Well, I think
Sort of
Aquaman
thing.
has a chance of being actually really cool considering who they chose.
True.
Did you see all the nerfs Aquaman got?
Yeah.
Just-
Oh my gosh.
He is total
Most
trash
of,
tier
well,
now.
most of it's just like damage and
Yeah, but he's still trash.
well, yeah.
Dragon already said he's done with it. He dropped him as
Oh.
soon as they announced it. He dropped. He's.
I figured they
he's gonna
would.
play Black Adam now.
Well, Black Adam got hit too.
Yeah, but he'll still probably be top. And Dragon's a tier whore.
What do you think? What do you think your choice
He
is?
is.
I
He
don't
won.
know.
He was the guy who won Evo.
Ah,
For
Yeah,
Injustice.
he's Honeybee.
gotcha. Without actually having like
A list.
a list to look at and think about.
So I'll just look up real quick upcoming movies
Okay.
real quick.
Go ahead with what you think.
I would say probably Thor. The
Yeah,
first
Thor looks really good. We
the
just talked
first
about that.
trailer.
the first trailer had me sold.
Yeah, I agree completely. But this last trailer just knocked it out of the park for me.
We got The Dark Tower,
Oh, yeah, that looks
Yeah.
interesting.
Blade Runner,
Oh yeah, gosh. I forgot
Thor.
about that.
Mhm.
Just
What?
we forgot.
It's something really obvious.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and it's easily Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, duh.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
never mind.
ahead
I
of
take it
Thor.
back. Star
Yeah,
Wars.
that's ahead of Thor for
Yeah.
sure.
That's-
then Thor.
Yeah.
Thor can take a back seat for now.
I just
Oh,
Thor.
and we forgot another one. Jumanji,
Gosh, I hate you.
Black Panther.
That's
that's
coming
this
out this
year.
year.
No, I think that's the beginning of next year.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
Star Wars
I
is,
remember
is the last one listed
Yeah,
for this year.
okay.
Yep. Jumanji is early January.
that. Oh darn, that doesn't make it to the
See,
list.
Star Wars
Yeah,
for sure.
it'd be Star
then
Wars.
then Thor.
All right, so good choices.
Oh, and then the Emoji Movie currently has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
0.
Tied
All right,
in
guys.
last with The Room. Actually, I think The Room's a little higher. I don't think
think
it's
so.
a 0 because people just voted for it to vote for it, like Sharknado.
Good discussion.
Which is also
I think we
good.
covered some good stuff. Got some music talk as well.
Mhm.
So, anything you guys want to say?
No,
No.
No,
All right.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Buds Aplenty. I'm Dylan St. Clair. That's another episode of Buds Aplenty presented by Buds Aplenty.
Oh,
They probably couldn't hear any of that shit.
it's Buds Aplenty.
Buds Aplenty!
Thriller. Okay. I'm gonna do it. I'm going with it. That can go
For
for
what? Thriller?
It can go for every topic. Thriller's hard. I don't really. What was the one after Thriller?